Are they, you bastard?
Oh my! Oh my!
All right.
Well, I had a wife for 20 months. Don't know what was all the fuss. See, our marriage was fine till she caught me cruising towards our house. The girl is gone.
Oh, by the way, speaking of, Ron to you, Gilbert. Ron to you.
The Presley girl is gone. The girl is gone. The Presley girl is gone. Since our wedding, all I've ever heard from Lisa Sue, my ex, was weird ideas like a married couple should have sex. Now she's gone. That Presley girl is gone. Now she's gone. The Presley girl is gone.
And by the way, George, Muff says you're a bleeping idiot.
Yeah?
Well, she hated how I like to stay as private as I can. Said the only bone I ever showed her belonged to the elephant man. The girl is gone.
Is that a quote?
That Presley girl is gone.
Almost. We're on to you, Gilbert. Cut the crap, you
The
maniac.
girl is gone.
Canis Much Macho, Michael Jackson or Gilbert?
That Presley girl is gone.
We're thinking about it.
Was the documentary on Gilbert?
903. Oh, that would be a wiener, I'll tell you that.
Eye-opener.
903 at 560 WQM. A great Friday morning. Nice job there, Gildy, on a morning show solo this morning. Didn't hear too much of it, but really sounded. I talked about that big Panthers 6-2 win last night in Pittsburgh, about Mario losing it. I didn't see that game. I was at the track making a little contribution. Also didn't see the Michael Jackson thing, which I taped. But I'm sure George saw the Michael Jackson piece last night, and we'll get plenty of commentary about that. I got to tell you right now, I'm sick and tired of people like George and Joe Costello and other, people, making excuses about how he was beaten as a child and abused and that terrible upbringing, and he never had a chance.
It's not an excuse.
He's a pedophile,
right?
Okay? He is a freaking pedophile. Hey, Michael!
You're gay.
Okay.
And a pedophile.
And a pedophile.
And a whack job.
And a whack job. Well, I don't know if he's doing that, but whatever he's doing
sure
under the sheets. But the fact of the matter is that 44-year-old men don't sleep with little boys. Okay, I know that may come as a great shock, even if you were abused as a child, even if you have like certain problems with your nose, which you only had operated on twice.
Only twice, and
I'll tell you one thing. That's pretty damn good surgery to make your face look like that when you've only had 2 nose jobs.
Right. Well, the litivigo and the ongoing changes that he's experienced during his life, it happened all by itself.
Yeah.
The skin.
But all you bleeding hearts out there, and in the meantime, he's making millions again because the record sales are up. He's getting $1 billion worth of free publicity from all of this crap. All the time, between the fact that we're getting ready to go to war any day now, forget about that. Nobody cares about that. Nobody even cares about the Columbia anymore. Finally, they had the last ceremony yesterday, and NASA's making up stories. But nobody cares about those things anymore. All they care about is Michael Jackson's back again.
You're gay.
I'm going to go buy all his records again.
I'm not. And I'd be the first to admit there's some of his music that I liked.
In the olden days.
A lot. But what does that have to do with that? Maybe Ted Bundy sang pretty good too, you know it?
He had a record?
Possibly. Maybe he had a long record, as long as your arm. Yeah, Charles Manson.
Had some records.
Great musician. Oh, am I thinking of Marilyn Manson?
He wasn't a pedophile.
Whatever. Anyway, how'd that poll come out yesterday? Pretty interesting stuff. Which version of Neil's show do you enjoy most? 943 votes, which is staggering since we had 500 votes plus on the first poll. What was the first poll? What were we doing?
It was that long ago.
Yeah. No wonder I forgot. It must have been. No wonder we stopped doing it. I don't remember
Michael
what the hell
Jackson?
it was. Was it?
I think it was, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What's your take? Well, sir, see, that was like premature anyway before they had a chance to watch that great ABC show last night with your favorite. Oh, well, she didn't do the interview, the Bashir guy from...
But she was pimping it.
She was pimping it?
She was there.
She was pimping. Anyway, which version of Neil's show do you enjoy most? I don't care. I'll always listen. 466, 49.4% of these maniacs, these great friends of ours, will always listen no matter what we do here. Even if we just do 4 hours of going.
You're gay.
In fact, they enjoy that a lot. Thanks, Reverend Jones. You're okay, too.
You're gay.
Unlike Gilbert. so it turns out is a real fruitcake in more ways than one. Come on, Gilbert, quit with all that crap. Although I find out, speaking of fruit, what kind of fruit he likes. He likes raspberries, is what I'm hearing.
Right.
Anyway, I don't care. I'll always listen. 49.4%. Some bed stories, a few calls, which I think is the way you describe it now, right?
Right.
322, 34.1%. No bedtime stories, all callers, 99, 10.4%. I think that's getting a little extreme. All callers and no bedtime stories. A little bit much. Maybe the callers taking themselves a little bit too seriously. And all bedtime stories and no calls, which I did on this show for 7 excruciating, boring months, 56, 5.9%. Not even 6%. And here you wanted me to go back to doing that again?
All bedtime stories, baby.
You were encouraging me to do that crap? Hey, listen, I mean, it doesn't make any difference because whether you get the bonus or not, you never collect it anyway.
Right.
So it really is kind of a moot point, whereas on my,
That way I don't have to answer the phone.
Out of about 955 votes, there you go, that's the way it turned out. And, as usual, we'll do whatever the hell we want anyway. But, what? Well, they know that. They're used to that. They're used to giving, but at least we let them give their opinion and feel like they have some serious input into the show.
Like the Coast when they pretend to take requests.
Right, like all those stations that pretend to take requests, like Magic. Oh yeah, well, even though we're computerized, it's a great coincidence that your song happened to come up this year. Something like that. Do you know that one of the rejoins they were playing, was it yesterday or on Wednesday? I think on the Mad Dog show, Build Me Up Buttercup by the Foundations. What asshole in this building is playing, and why is that in there, Build Me Up Buttercup? I think just to piss me off.
I'm sure Robert put that in there.
And why are they playing all this Motown? I love it myself, and I guess the Mad Dog's wife likes it, and the Motown too.
Because ever since last year, this is Motown.
Oh. I never thought about that. Well, I'll be damned.
So get with
Take off those checkered pants.
Just calm down, Mo. Just relax. We got a great poll for you today. Speaking of that, we'll get to it. About infomercials. However, I would say that Carlos has taken all the fun out of today's poll by compiling a list of about 6,000 of them here, a long list. Even put them in alphabetical order. But they'll be calling in about that. Of course, they'll also be calling in about Michael Jackson if you saw the thing last night, which I didn't. But you didn't have to see it because we've had more clips already this morning, a zillion of them, and they're psychoanalyzing, and Jack Cafferty on CNN, he's spouting off a bunch of crap. Although in this case he happens to be right. What is there to analyze? And the clip that they show with that kid with his head on Michael's shoulder, they're
holding hands. You missed it. You looked up.
They were holding hands?
They're holding hands and cuddling.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Nothing sexual,
No, there's nothing sexual going on.
You're gay.
I think it's very normal. It's run-of-the-mill for like 44-year-old guys to be having like 10 and 12 and 13-year-old boys
like
sleeping in their beds.
Sick.
And let me ask you, why is it always little boys who are sleeping in Michael's bed?
Oh, no, sometimes it's a girl once every 5 years.
I never heard of that.
Like that. Yeah, they were talking about that. If the little boy has a sister, she can come along too.
And watch? And referee?
Right.
I see.
Do the play-by-play.
Right, the blow-by-blow. I see. Jackson files complaints over TV show. Oh, we got to do the break? How can we possibly be doing a break? I just sat down here. That's because Geldy went like 10 seconds over. And then he blamed us for giving Zach the Geldy song. He likes the Geldy song. Don't kid yourself. He's not uptight like certain other people around here. He can laugh at himself. And when he got a voice like that, thank God he can laugh at himself. You know what I'm saying? Because he sounds kind of
gay.
Yeah. 9 minutes after 9. Not as
gay
as George, but no, he doesn't sound gay. He sounds squeaky. Remember Squeaky Fromm?
Right.
Bad childhood. Bad upbringing.
That's right.
Okay. David Berkowitz?
Wasn't their fault.
Bad upbringing. John Wayne Gacy?
Sure.
John Wayne
Gacy.
Bad upbringing.
Ted Bundy?
Bad upbringing.
Neil
In fact, he didn't, terrible. The worst. Ted Bundy didn't even know who his real mother was. Wasn't that, I forget how that story went down. Remember?
I confused them all. Right. It's one of them.
In fact, it was kind of like a scene from Passions with John on Passions, who thinks that Grace is his real mother, and come to turn out we don't even have any idea who his mama is. You follow what I'm saying?
No.
Well, you better start watching that show. You'd like Sheridan, I'll tell you. If Sheridan, whoever that actress is, I don't know what her name is, on Passions, blonde, I'd say like 25 to 30-ish, and that beautiful. She could be one of the most beautiful women, and I'm telling you.
Does she hang them out?
They're there.
Out there?
They are there. They're out there. They're in there. They're out there. They're bouncing around.
Well, now that you told me that.
You'd like Sheridan a lot.
You told me that a long time ago.
I tried telling you that, but you're so anti-passion just because, for whatever reason, you're antisocial is what you are. You're antisocial. And not only that, you're
gay. I'm not antisocial. I just hate everybody.
9 at 560 WQM. We all have different lifestyles, George. Therefore, you need different products to make you feel better and healthier, too. Oleomed Mediterranean formulas are exactly what you're looking for. They're advanced combinations of pharmaceutical-grade olive oil combined with really good, healthy stuff. There's vitamins in there, minerals, herbals, other nutrients, scientifically designed to provide natural nutrition solutions to help you support specific health needs. Look for Oleomed's 3 new formulas, one to help you sleep, one to help you control your weight, and CoQ10, which is so important for your heart. Oleomed also makes supplements to promote health in your circulatory system, your digestive, your endocrine system, your skin, your bones, even your mind, all using the benefits of the finest olive oil you can find. And please don't forget, they make products for men and ladies as well. Oleomed's an outstanding product, and more people are popping it in their puss every day. Pick some up today all over town. You'll find it at Publix, Eckerd's, Whole Food Markets, Walgreens. If you want to find out more about Oleomed's products and what they can do for you, call toll-free and they'll answer all your questions. Call 1-866-OLEOMED. That's 1-866-653-6633. You can also order their products online at oleomedamerica.com. And don't forget, mark it on your wrist because it's a long way off. Visit their sampling pavilion at Sportstown every Sunday during dolphin season. Start feeling great today by popping some Oleomed in your puss.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
See, that man's a freak.
I was gonna stay in bed, keep catching some Z's. Just tired or do I have a disease? You got something, man. You got it. On my way to work, I thought I was free. Oh, man. They got it Friday. They got it Friday. They got it Friday.
Yes.
I just found out that I have to work late. What's wrong with that, man? What's wrong? That makes 5 straight nights I've been here till 8. That's too late, too late. Wish my boss would die. Hey, that would be great. They got it Friday. They got it Friday. They got it Friday. I would like to pull X-Lax in my boss's brownie. Tape aside to his back that says kick me. That would mess with his butt, definitely. They got it Friday. They got it Friday. They got it Friday.
9:16 at 560 WQM. I love the way those end real abrupt. Each and every one of those ends like real quick like that. Keeps you on your toes, baby. Jacko files complaints over a TV show. Well, a lot of wacko Jackos filing complaints, or threatening to anyway, but that's par for the course, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Michael Jackson filed complaints with 2 TV watchdogs Thursday over a controversial documentary about his life, during which the king of pop revealed he sometimes lets children sleep in his bed.
Oi!
Oh, and before we get back to that, somebody faxed me this. This is kind of cute. Washington Post publishes a yearly contest in which readers are asked to supply alternate meanings for various words. And we'll talk about this later, but number 13 on the list is oyster.
Oi!
Stir. A person who sprinkles his conversation with Yiddish expressions. And oyster.
That would be
That's cute. Yeah. I guess I'm an oyster.
And you know what Mandich said?
Yeah. Well, see, if you're going to do that, you should have it ready. We don't have time to wait for you. Jackson, who said he felt betrayed by the terrible documentary, had his lawyers file the complaints with Britain's Independent Television Commission and the Broadcasting Standards Commission, saying he'd been unfairly treated by the program and wanted at least $5 billion more free publicity, I guess. Huh? Isn't that what he's upset about?
He's not done.
His legal team also claimed that Living with Michael Jackson, which was broadcast in Britain on Monday, was an infringement of his privacy. The program, of course, was on last night on 2020 on ABC. I'm sure somebody out there watched it. Let's see it. Look at all the calls coming in about that show last night.
They're on fire.
They are on fire. All the people
Like
out there
Michael.
want calls on his show. I don't see any coming in yet. On the screenless 9 to 10 hour about Michael Jackson on ABC last night on 2020, which I didn't see. And we certainly, inquiring minds, want to know what you be thinking. The complaint filed with the Independent Television Commission alleged the documentary contains the clear innuendo that Mr. Jackson is guilty of inappropriate behavior with children. Yeah. It said the show's voiceovers, questions, and editing gave credence to allegations made against him in 1993 of a sexual offense against a child. Yeah. In the complaint filed with the Broadcasting Standards Commission, Jackson said he was not given any prior warning of the narrator's intent to interview him about the 93 incident or to question the legality of his current relationships with children. WQAM.
Yeah, Neil, please.
Speaking.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Forget Osama bin Laden. Forget Saddam Hussein.
Okay.
Michael Jackson is definitely the scariest person in the world.
I would say he's pubic enemy number 1.
He is. This guy is just so weird, and not that I want to give him any sympathy, but he never had a childhood.
Listen, please. Please, do yourself a favor. Don't repeat stuff that other people planted in your brain. George was doing that this morning, and this is the way the public operates. You're like a bunch of sheep. That's a bunch of crap, okay? So we grew up in an abusive family with a miserable father. That's not an excuse for it. The guy's 44. The guy's 44 years old. This business about he never had a child and he's doing it now.
Well, no, I agree. It's
That's
not an
bullcrap.
excuse.
He's been using that line ever since LaToya whipped out that first canceled check for $2-3 million from
There's
that.
a difference between a reason
It's not
and
an
an
excuse,
excuse.
but it had to have led to part of what his problem is.
Yeah.
But he is
He's
definitely
effed up.
one scary, screwed up human being.
Amen.
Alrighty.
And have a great day.
Bye.
Now, I'm worn out on that crap. But
You're missing the point.
I'm
He's
missing the point?
Up. He's effed up.
You know something? So was Ted Bundy effed up.
Right,
So was David
right.
Berkowitz
It's not an
effed up. So
excuse.
was Charles Manson. See, when people are effed up to the extent that they represent a threat to other people, we have to put them away. We have to put them in a psychiatric institution.
Or somewhere.
We have to put them on Alcatraz. We have to separate. See,
on an island.
If you really want to be honest about it, pedophiles are sick people. So instead of just throwing their asses in jail, whether it's the priest or whether it's him or whoever it is, they have to be put in some kind of a lockbox, if
like
you pardon the
Easter
expression.
Island, way out in the middle of the Pacific somewhere.
And not let out.
There's no cure.
Not let out because we haven't discovered a cure for it
There isn't.
as of yet.
A cure for insanity?
As of yet. We
Right.
haven't discovered a cure for it.
Lobotomy.
The singer also said his own children were improperly filmed. He wasn't allowed to see the documentary as promised before it was broadcast. The watchdogs have the power to censure offending broadcasters in England. Yada, yada, yada. I trusted Martin Bashir to come into my life and that of my family because I wanted the truth to be told, Jackson said in a statement released by his London representative Stephen Locke. See, I told you it was a lockbox. Today I feel more betrayed than perhaps ever before that someone who'd gotten to know my children, my staff, and me, whom I let into my heart and told the truth, could then sacrifice the trust I placed in him and produce this terrible and unfair program, he said. And isn't it tragic that now we find out that he really did sleep with Macaulay Culkin?
And his brother.
Now we understand why Macaulay's sulking. WQAM.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
The most disturbing thing I saw yesterday was him holding hands with a little boy, and the little boy had his head on his shoulder.
Yes.
With that last.
And Paul Anka was singing, "Put Your Head on My Shoulder."
But that's it. That's it. Bye.
Okay. And they're buying his records. That's the thing that just shocks the hell out of me.
When they
Based
could
on
download
what?
them for free.
Maybe all the pedophiles are turned on by this now. Oh, now we're sure. We were pretty sure before, but now we're absolutely sure. Now we can really go out there and listen to that
Now
crap.
they have a spokesperson.
Maybe we can bring Vincent Price back to narrate his next album.
Someone to justify their leanings.
WQAM.
Yeah, hello.
Michael Jackson Hotline.
Tomorrow's soccer game. I need some.
WQAM.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
¿Qué pasa con el gato de Spuka?
WQAM.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
It was like
that must have been Oyster we just talked to.
Borderline frightening. I mean, I was just absolutely, I didn't even want to. My wife actually taped it, and I was sitting downstairs, and when she got home, okay, I'm just on the couch reading something, and then all of a sudden, as it goes on, I drop the newspaper, and I start watching this thing, because it's like it's like watching a freak show. I mean, it was like,
well, if he was on it, it certainly qualifies as a freak show. If he was.
Oh, it was like, it was frightening. I mean, I just couldn't believe some of the stuff that this guy is saying. And the biggest laugh was about the plastic surgery. Oh, I've never had plastic. Oh no, just 2 nose jobs. That's it.
I mean, you don't believe
to help him breathe.
Surgery.
To help him breathe so he could sing better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. Unbelievable.
I mean, if he wants to sue somebody, he ought to sue the plastic surgeon, because if that's his idea of a nose job, good luck to us.
And I'll tell you what.
Good luck to Whit.
What's his name? What's the guy's name? Martin.
Bashir.
Bashir, he did a great job. It was no suck-up softball stuff. I mean, he really pinned him against the wall.
Well, I got it on tape. I'm going to watch it as soon as I go home this afternoon.
No,
Slow-mo
you
and
want to
freeze
watch
frame.
it. He did a good job. I mean, sometimes it looked like it was a little bit of softball talking, but boy, he and then the last interview down in Miami, he really pinned him against the wall on the children's stuff. I'm sorry, the children's stuff.
The children. Very good.
And did a great job.
Okay,
so
thanks
it
for the
was
good
very
news.
Entertaining. All right.
In fact, I'm going to leave right now and go home and watch it.
See ya.
Thanks. Yeah, can I leave now? Can I get an early pass? Although we got to eat probably. We got to get some food in here. Zach didn't get any food. Don't do what?
The food.
Are you crazy?
I've been complaining all week about the amount of food coming in here.
See, when you want food in here, then it's another story. But
That
if
was
I suggest,
once.
and
And how many
Carlos
times altogether over
Carlos
the
is going to
years?
hate you like poison.
Oh, I know that.
When I went in
What do you
to
mean
take a leak
getting
this
to?
morning, he was in the sink, and I could hear him say, George sucks, George sucks. I could hear a little voice coming out of the sink, George sucks. That's what he was saying. Maybe he saw the results of that poll on Wednesday. But at any rate, No, we'll get whatever the hell we want to get. I don't have to get permission from you. Who the hell are you? Like my grandpa, grandma? 60 years old. I've already got one mother who treats me like I'm 5 years old. I don't need a surrogate mother, okay? I already got one.
You mean the one that's forced
Nag.
paprika?
Nagging mother with her paprika and pepper, yeah.
Lardo.
Right. Jackass. And by the way, in case everybody forgot, George.
You're gay.
Some people wish.
Oh, so anyway, we're going to do the, I don't know how we're going to do that, though. Well, when we get through with Michael Jackson, we'll do the thing about the infomercials, because on Friday we don't have to feel rushed to get the new poll up there, because they got all weekend to diddle with it. And this one, I don't know, that's just for fun. What's your favorite TV infomercial? And I realize that may sound like a freaky question, but the fact of the matter is there are freaky people like me and Carlos in here who actually find infomercials entertaining. Do you know that if it's really desperate, like on a weekend, and I see, just like when The Godfather comes on and you can't turn it off and you watch it even though you've seen it 100 times, same with like the Ron Popeil Showtime, the rotisserie oven. Right? Am I right?
Well,
can't turn it off.
Too.
Can't. And I especially like the part where he takes the hammer and slams her, and they're, they all go like that. Now, either those people are all getting paid off, which is likely, or they're all getting the free rotisserie oven, which is also likely, or they're all on magic mushrooms, which is most likely.
They get paid and lunch.
Oh, free lunch. Can you imagine if
Oh.
Ron would start taping those infomercials down here, like at Cemetery Village? Dick Feinberg at Pompano Park could turn them out how if he gave them a free spaghetti dinner, those people would all get up and start, it's the greatest invention, even Edison would be proud. You know, they'd be foaming at the mouth. We're knocking each other down to get to the free food and make their statements.
I'm sure there are more people like you and Carlos.
Oh, well, if there weren't, they wouldn't be putting those damn things on there. And I confess I did buy the Juicy Man. See, back in the days of early satellite TV when I had my first dish back 16 years ago, there used to be, the stuff on now doesn't come close to those things. There used to be really great infomercials that would go on forever. And I bought my first Vitamix blender. It was like a steel blender.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Vitamix.
Through a thing, to an infomercial. It was okay. I used it for about a month or two and then I Schmidt canned it. Well, actually, I never throw them out. They're all wide up in the kitchen cupboards, you know. And then, of course, I bought the Juicy Man's juicer.
Yeah.
Broke the second time I used it. and then I
Up until then,
I did start
work?
growing big bushy eyebrows after I used that. From the Juicy Man. What's his name? I can almost think of his name. J. Cordick? That's his name. Jay Cordick, I think. The Juicy Man. Who's actually only 25 but looks 116 because he's been juicing it too much and got those
He doesn't know.
I just told you what it is. It's Jay Cordick or Cordick. God damn, Carlos. And quit picking on George. Although he can't do anything for you. In fact, to be honest with you, I think...
So where are we getting lunch from?
I don't think anybody can do anything for you. Oh, that was difficult. That was tough.
I did my best.
You're
but,
full of crap.
You know.
Get some stuff from Tony's near. We haven't bugged Brad in a long time. Although, what time do they open? They
Good
don't
point.
open.
I don't know.
They don't open early enough for
I'll
us.
keep calling until they do open.
No, we want that stuff in here early so we can eat all through the show today.
What,
the audience
usual?
loves that. We ought to do a poll on that sometime. What are you laughing about? Well, if the audience doesn't like it, if it's resounding enough, we'll stop eating on the air, won't we?
No.
Plus, when I'm not here, I don't eat on the air anyway when I'm out of town. So I might as well make up for lost time while I'm here.
Right.
Nobody's going to bring me food in Toronto. And if they
Stock
did,
up.
what am I going to do? They're knocking on my door. I got to go and get the food? Yeah,
Right.
probably. That's a good idea.
Don't you have a concierge?
Yes. 27 after 9 at 560 WQM. Speaking of food, Delights of West Boca is your mega store for the Atkins diet or any low-carb, sugar-free diet. It's the place to shop. Guess who else is on the Atkins? Dave, what's his name?
What's his name?
Dave, the producer, Dave, what's his
Hagen?
name? Hagen. How
Yeah.
could I forget his name? He's a good guy. Dave Hagen is on the Atkins. I didn't know he was fat.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe he was a little pudgy. There's good reason you ought to join the thousands who travel to Delights because they've got over 600 delicious low-carb food products specifically for you. The whole store is dedicated to you if you're on a low-carb diet. This week, be sure and sample their new low-carb tortilla chips in original or pico gallo flavor by Carb Sense. And, of course, you'll love their great-tasting no-carb bruschetta by Walden Farm. You'll be in snack heaven when you puff that stuff in your puss. So whether it's Carbolite ice cream, breads, chips, muffins, cheesecakes, pasta, and sauces, Delights of West Boca is the place you love. And don't forget, you can try it before you buy it. Anything in the store. Their staff knows dieting inside and out. They're open every day, 7 days a week from 10 to 10. And they carry the most complete line of Atkins brand products, the books, the vitamins, all that good stuff. And even better news is they're always 25% off all day, every day. So if you're on Atkins or any other similar program, here's an entire store that's dedicated for you. The number one low-carb, sugar-free store in the universe. Delights of West Boca. You'll find them on the northeast corner of Glades and 441 right next to Boston Market. Or call them toll-free at 1-877-LOW-CARB or check them out on the web if you like at lowcarb.com.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Friday, you bastards.
20 single women looking for love travel to a remote chateau in France where they will meet him. They know he's handsome, they know he's sophisticated, and they know he's worth $80 million. What they don't know is he has an STD. Which one of the 20 girls vying for his affection will he choose? Tune in each week for Joe Contagious.
I can't believe I'm here. This is so cool. I just hope I can handle all this rich food and expensive wine.
Hey, I know what you mean. It really burns like when I take a leak.
What?
Joe Contagious, Tuesday nights on Fox. Catch it, then get to a doctor.
9:33 at 560 WQM. This is disturbing from the Brit paper The Guardian this morning. Somebody faxed this to me. Thank you so much. UK war dossier a sham, say experts. British intelligence lifted from academic articles. Downing Street was last night plunged into an acute international embarrassment after it emerged that large parts of the British government's latest dossier on Iraq, allegedly based on intelligence material, were taken from published academic articles, some of them several years old. Amid charges of scandalous plagiarism on the night when Tony Blair attempted to rally support for the U.S.-led campaign against Saddam Hussein, Whitehall's dismay was compounded by the knowledge that the disputed document was singled out for praise by the U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell in his speech to the UN Security Council on Wednesday. Citing the British dossier entitled Iraq, Its Infrastructure of Concealment, Deception and Intimidation, in front of a worldwide television audience, Mr. Powell said, I would call my colleagues' attention to the fine paper that the United Kingdom distributed which describes in exquisite detail Iraqi deception activities. But on Channel 4 News, that's Channel 4 in England, last night it was revealed that 4 of the report's 19 pages had been copied with only minor editing and a few insertions from the Internet version of an article by Ibrahim al-Marashi, which appeared in the Middle East Review of International Affairs last September. How do you like that? I'm not going to read the whole thing, but in fact, we probably ought to put this on the website. And Carlos is hopping right on it. But there's just so much crap going on, you know what? We'll get to our poll eventually, but there's a lot of crap. For example, speaking of pedophiles, a Georgia priest has been given 10 years in prison, a 10-year prison sentence for sexually abusing 2 Montgomery County brothers in the early 1970s, this in Rockville, Maryland. Waylon Brown apologized to his victims during his sentencing yesterday, saying he wished there was something he could do to ease their pain. He had already pleaded guilty to the abuse, which took place while he was studying at a Washington seminary. Brown later became a priest in Savannah, but hasn't worked in the church since '88. One of the brothers testified at Brown's hearing in Rockville yesterday that the abuse had ruined his life and made him consider suicide. An Oklahoma man testified that Brown also abused him during the 70s while he was a boy in Georgia. The man said Brown took him to Walt Disney World and made sexual advances to him during the trip. Just another isolated incident. Boy, there's so many of these things, you know what? Nuclear bomb hoax from yellowtimes.com.org. In his speech in front of the UN Security Council February 5, 2003, Colin Powell did not offer any viable new evidence concerning Iraq's nuclear weapon capability. That Bush and his entourage continued to wave as a red flag in front of the eyes of the American people to incite them shamefully into an unjust war. On the contrary, the few flimsy so-called pieces of evidence that were presented by Powell regarding a supposed continued Iraqi nuclear weapon program serve only to weaken the American and British accusations and reveal their untenable attempt to cover with a fig leaf their threadbare arguments and misinformation campaign. The false and untrue pieces of evidence follow when it goes on. Well, for example, Powell, in a theoretical query, asked why the Iraqi scientists were asked to sign declarations with the death penalty if not adhered to, not to reveal their secrets to the IAEA inspection teams. Exactly the opposite is true. The 4 or 5, as I recall, such declarations, which I read in detail, held us to the penalty of death in the event that we did not hand in all the sensitive documents and reports that may still be in our possession. This is written by a former Iraqi nuclear scientist, Imad Kaduri. Had Powell's intelligence services provided him with a copy of these declarations and not depended on defectors' testimonies who are solely motivated by their self-promotion in the eyes of their beholders and availed himself to a good Arabic translation of what these declarations exactly said, he would not, had he had any sense, been abiding by the truth, mention this as evidence. And it goes on. We'll also put this one on there, too, okay? Don't want to overwork you in there, Carlos, but there's some pretty damn good stuff. And obviously, I don't want to sit here and read the whole thing because the public's convinced out there anyway. They bought it lock, stock, and barrel.
Right.
And the fact that the polls say yada, 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 whatever the polls say, That's what it's all about. We're going to go in there and kick some ass, baby. I would say this, though. This from MSNBC's website. The State Department warned Americans abroad yesterday of the threat of new terrorist attacks using chemical or biological weapons. The worldwide alert came as U.S. security officials told NBC News that they were considering raising their assessment of the threat of terrorist attacks to, are you ready for this? Orange. Its second highest level, citing intelligence indications for plans of a major attack as early as next week. The threat assessment has been at the third of 5 levels, yellow or elevated, since September 24. The assessment was last at orange or high for 2 weeks beginning September 10, the day before the first anniversary of the 9/11 attacks in New York and Washington, D.C. U.S. officials said at the time that 2 captured members of Osama bin Laden's al-Qaeda terror network had told interrogators of specific plans to carry out new attacks. Homeland Security Department official told NBC News' Pete Williams yesterday that the level of concern was now at its highest since the 9/11 attacks. Administration officials said they were reassessing the threat level one day at a time as the U.S. moved closer to taking military action against Saddam Hussein, which critics contend would inflame U.S. sentiment among Muslims worldwide. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld dismissed talk that new attacks could be tied specifically to action in Iraq. It doesn't take an attack on Iraq to unleash an attack, a terrorist attack on the U.S. They've already done it, Rumsfeld said. What do you think 9/11 was? But a senior Bush administration official told NBC News that U.S. intelligence had been intercepting a steadily rising number of conversations among suspected members and sympathizers of al-Qaeda. The new intelligence, some of which was described as very general, suggested that the possibility of attacks around the world was higher now. Another concern is the arrival next week of Hajj, H-A-J-J, the week-long period each year when observant Muslims make a pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia, U.S. officials said. The official told NBC News that intelligence had picked up discussions of possible attacks around the Hajj, while other officials said extremists could be motivated by renewed religious fervor to launch more attacks. I just mentioned that in passing, because we're not going to change anybody's mind. And Dustin Hoffman blasts U.S. administration over Iraq. What the hell does he know?
I don't know.
He's a very good driver.
Excellent.
The Oscar winner, a double Oscar winner, Dustin Hoffman accused U.S. President George W. Bush administration of manipulating the grief of the country post 9/11 to win backing for a possible war with Iraq. Hoffman, speaking as he picked up the Lifetime Achievement Prize at the Empire Magazine Film Awards in central London, added that he believed America's motives for going to war included power and oil. For me as an American, the most painful aspect of this is that I believe the administration has taken the events of 9/11 and manipulated the grief of the country, and I think that's reprehensible, Hoffman said. The actor added, I believe, though I may be wrong because I'm no expert, that this war is about what most wars are about, hegemony, power, money, and oil. Hoffman joins a number of Hollywood stars who have attacked Bush over Iraq, diva Barbara Streisand. Oi! That's what the oyster said. And actresses Jane Fonda and Susan Sarandon have been among the most prominent pacifists. Jane Fonda, who we know has got a lot of credibility. But actor Tom Cruise, who is very, very macho and definitely not gay, who starred alongside Hoffman in Rain Man, has come out in support of the U.S. president. Which is it's the macho thing to do, right?
That proves it.
Yep. 20 till 10, I'm convinced. 20 till 10 at 560 WQM. We're putting that poll on there, but boy, I'll tell you, there's got to be, about 600 choices on there? So prepare to scroll on our poll this weekend. Huh? You have to have a lot of time if you're going to scroll on the old poll. I'll tell you who's scrolling right now. They're just checking out the enormous number of vehicles on the lot. That's Tom Lehman and Joe Prieto down the hell at Pontiac GMC. The factory sent them so many vehicles, they're like up to their armpits, up to their eyeballs in vehicles. Even Tom had to park a few in his driveway. That's the excuse for why they're there. They probably won't be going back. So they need to place one in yours, which is a great idea. Right now, Hallett's blowing out all the new vehicles, regardless of profit, including the Pontiac Vibe, starting at a strikingly low $13,998 and up to $5,000 off every GMC Envoy in stock. Plus get you 0% financing or up to a $3,000 rebate. The choice is yours. And as always, you'll find a gigantic lot full of dependable, no lemons, dependable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. It's the Winter Blizzard Emergency Clearance Sale going on right now at Hallett Pontiac GMC, 13401 South Dixie Highway. That's US 1 across from the Falls. Open every day, 7 days a week. If you're one of those people out there terrified to walk on a lot because you've got maybe a couple of blemishes on your credit record, maybe your credit is lousy, maybe it's crap, have no fear because Hallett is here. They'll get you into a vehicle. As always, save even more when you mention the Neil Rogers Show. Call right now and mention the Neil Rogers Neil Deal Hotline at 1-888-534-4211. 1-888-534-4211 for Hallett Pontiac GMC, who will treat you great, which is one of the reasons they say we are professional grade.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
I fucked him up!
Warning, we have mercilessly taken the following material out of context without endorsement or permission from those depicted. It is our ongoing mission to make everything that is good and decent look as ridiculous as possible. We hope we've reached that goal. Or at least maybe less.
Tonight on Jerry Springer, it's the Valentine edition.
Buford, you're so damn sweet. You fixed the muffler on my El Camino. You duct taped the door of the trailer. You spayed the dog. You're like a father to the kids, except for Jethro after he knocked out your tooth. I just love you. I love you. But I wish you weren't a no-good loser. You ain't got no job, and I'm tired of you stealing my cigarettes.
But Edna.
And bringing those damn hookers home.
Edna.
While I'm working late at the diner.
She's not a hooker. She's my sister.
That's tonight on Jerry Springer.
Damn it, Buford. I'm going to knock your other tooth out. Ah!
I-46, 560, WQM, the man's a genius, Jerry Springer, like I said. All you people who want to wring your hands, oh, that's disgusting. Hey, that's what the public wants, okay? If the public are a bunch of trailer trash morons, if that's what they enjoy watching, or a bunch of other trailer trash morons, and a bunch of big fat Aunt-Your Mamas on there beating the crap out of each other allegedly, well, hey, that's why he's making millions, okay? Give the people what they want. We learned that on this show, okay? No more of these long, ponderous bedtime story shows. You know, a couple here and there like we've had already, and then one more. Well, look, what do you want from me, okay? I didn't invent this. Diocese suspends priest after prior charges surface. This is in the Sun Sentinel, so Aunt-Your Mamas on there beating the crap out of each other allegedly. Well, hey, that's why he's making millions, okay? Give the people what they want. We learned that on this show, okay? No more of these long, ponderous bedtime story shows. You know, a couple here and there like we've had already, and then one more. Well, look, what do you want from me, okay? I didn't invent this. Diocese suspends priest after no sexual misconduct allegations against Johnson, which surfaced in the 50s. I am unaware of anything in his background which would render him unsuitable to work with minors, Law wrote. Any disciplinary action against him would have to originate with the Boston church officials, Barbero said. Boy, you got some real problems up there in Palm Beach, okay? A lot of father problems going on. Oh, look at that. We have the poll up already, which is good. What's your favorite TV infomercial? Like I said, scroll on our poll before you rush to judgment, and maybe they'll have some others, but I can't imagine. Should we go down the list? It could take us till midnight to go down this list.
Oh, well, in that case.
Well, there's about 100 of them on here. The Abdur, the Ab Shaper, the abdominal electrocution pads, Chinese doctor. Electrocution pads?
Yeah, it's to work out your abdomen.
But they call it the electrocution pads?
He couldn't find the real name.
Aerobed, the self-inflating airbed. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Auto Lock Pro, brake lock. Bowflex. Not bad. Bun and Thigh Rocker. The John Rocker. Carlton Sheets real estate system. Oh, man. That guy's so full of shit. Deal-A-Meal, food lover, mover, Richard Simmons. Richie Simmons, he's got a different one. He's got playing cards, Deal-A-Meal, all that stuff. Sweating to the oldies. It's called Making Richie Some Money because he's an obnoxious, disgusting fruitcake and he has no talent.
And Tony Curtis said.
Yeah, no, that was the other way around.
Oh, I see.
Dermal Tone Facial Exerciser, Electroshock for your puss. Don LaPre's Money-Making Secrets. Now, is that that's the young guy, kind of a good-looking guy?
I don't know.
I know one
of them.
Money-Making Secrets.
Is that the one that wears the lei?
Put this crap on TV, and boy, the money just comes pouring in from suckers like you. That's his secret. The Egg Wave microwave cooker for microwaving eggs. Isn't that just like a little plastic thing you stick the eggs in? Yeah. Just it costs at least 4 cents. Epil Stop hair removal spray. What the hell is Epil? Are you spelling these right, or you just E-P-I-L?
I've seen that. Epil Stop.
I see. Fight the anxiety. What's that?
Huh? Anxiety tapes for anxious people, I reckon.
I see. Oh, they're tapes and CDs.
I'm anxious to see them.
The Flavor Wave oven. The Food Saver vacuum packer. Oh, you know something? That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
You get to the point where you just want to start wrapping people up in that stuff. Maybe we could like take Ted Williams' head and wrap it up in that thing. It's a lot cheaper than putting it on ice.
All kinds of things you can keep fresh in those.
The Food Saver vacuum packer. Especially for all you backpackers that go out there on those camping trips.
And some of you fudge
packers. Always good to have a whole bunch of those plastic containers full of nuts and seeds and fruits.
Tree bark.
Tree bark would be good. Ewell Gibbons would be proud. George Foreman Grill, which of course is the lean, mean grilling machine, which George gave me one of those years ago, and it really looks good in my kitchen. I don't use it. I did use it a few times. It was good.
Right, whatever.
But then you got to clean up the mess, which I'm not big on doing that.
Yeah, that sucks.
Girls Gone Wild videos. Now, what's that? I'm sure I've seen it.
We have comedy bits making fun of it.
Right, I know
girls
that.
flash and for beads.
Oh, they're flashing
for
it?
fun, right.
GLC, great looking here. Now, that's another Ron
GLH.
Popeil. Oh, no, wait a minute. It says GLC here. Have you got
Carlos.
it wrong? Years ago, and it really looks good in my kitchen. I don't use it. I did use it a few times. It was good.
Right, whatever.
But then you got to clean up the mess, which I'm not big.
Effect, what? It cleans up your hand. And your feet.
Wow. So
Makes you
either
soft.
get the Igea paraffin bath, or maybe like a bar of Coast is a lot cheaper, probably. Internet treasure chest. What's that?
How to make money on the internet.
Oh!
I'm just going to give him the microphone. He knows all these things.
The Juice Lady Juicer and the Juicy Man Juicer. The Juice Lady, I guess, is like with the smaller eyebrows.
The gyno version.
Miracle Blade 2. Moving Men. Nads Hair Remove Gel. Nads.
I have seen Nads.
You put them on your nads? I guess Joe Costello probably would be a hell of a lot easier than shaving. Orange Glow. Now we're talking my stuff. We got two back-to-back. Yeah, Billy Mays, the obnoxious bearded one, Billy Mays, who screams real loud. Hi, this is Billy Mays for Orange Glow and OxyClean. And you're going to smell like oranges. Your house is going to smell like oranges. Everything's going to smell just like oranges.
Already
and maybe even tangerines. Although I'm a little confused on the purple stuff. I'm not sure which one that is. Is that the OxyClean? That's purple? Which they're going to send you 45 tubs of that. Oh, what about the other stuff? The blue, what do they call it? I don't think you really blew it, if I can say that. What do they call that blue gunk that's supposed to be for arthritis? Oh, it comes in, it looks like a cottage cheese
Super
container.
blue stuff?
Super blue, is that what it's called? That's got to be on there.
You'll find it.
We'll find it on there, super blue. I see that one all the time. You just smear that all over. It's kind of like mineral ice. OxyClean, proactive facial cleaner anti-acne system. Think about that, Carlos. Get some. Revo Styler hairbrush that spins on its own. Oh yeah, that costs about 16 cents to make. It's a little tiny thing that like curls around on your head, doesn't do anything. Robo QT hair cutter, vacuum hair cutter. Oh, he's got his own proactive.
What's that, deodorant?
And what does that do? That obviously not much because he's using it. The Ron Popeil food dehydrator. This is really good for your pot. I mean for your plants.
You don't want to dry out
for all your herbs. Well, not too much.
Plants.
Not too much. Not in the maybe the oven makes them a little bit too. Anyway, the Ron Popeil food dehydrator, which is a plastic tchotchke. Oh, there he goes being a
oyster. Wait, I found it.
If I'm going to suck on something, it's not going to be an oyster.
Okay, good. What was I just going to say before you interrupted me with a really weak drop in with Mandan?
The dehydrator.
Oh, the dehydrator.
It's
with the plastic trays that must cost about at least 19 cents to make that thing. And you plug the machine, everything that Ron's got, from the pocket fisherman to the plastic trays, you plug the machine into the wall. And the machine will make you the most beautiful, like parsley and sage and rosemary and thyme, etc. and so on. The Ron Popeil pasta maker, man, you want some really crappy-looking pasta. You want a mess in your kitchen.
And a really loud machine.
And a really loud, grindy thing. Don't worry about it, though, because it'll break the second or third time you use it. And then, of course, the wife finally, after all these years, came up with something good. Nice going, Ron. The Ron Popeil Showtime Rotisserie Barbecue, which already has got my vote. Look at this. I hate all infomercials. It's got 23 votes. Rumba, the automatic robot vacuum. That's that little thing we talked about yesterday that crawls around on your floor.
Cool.
Soloflex, which used to be really good when Scott Masden was the model in that thing. Oh, man. But it's still okay. Sonic Hair Teeth Care, the Sonic Toothbrush, the Steam Buggy Portable Steam Cleaning Unit. Sweating to the oldies, Richie Simmons, come on.
Super blue stuff.
Super blue stuff, stick it in there, okay? And I remember I asked on the air about that. And nobody told me, nobody had anything good to say about it. Other than it made their wallet a lot lighter. We can't think of the name of the Steve Garvey one, which I think somebody went to jail for that. The diet program. And thank God that there's nobody in America. Oh, you know what else we forgot? Nobody in America would exploit the misery and desperation of us fat people. What's that stuff? They have that supposed doctor sitting there in a real cheesy set with a plant in the background and the guy who's interviewing. Oh, what the hell is that stuff called?
Is it pills? What is it?
No, yeah, it's pills, but it's, oh, jeez. It'll come to me.
All right.
And then the Eads, Marilyn and her husband, the Eads, who hopped on the Atkins and ripped that off. They're also peddling that. It'll come to me. It's on the tip of my thing. Tybo. Martial arts exercise tapes. The Thigh Master, Susan Summers' blue thigh thing. She's got blue thighs from using it. The Thunder Stick, another one of my very favorites.
Never seen it.
You never saw where this real trailer trash old lady is there, and she's got this cheesy little, and then that real goofy looking guy. Who looks like a used car or a radio salesman on a bad day, real dressed up like a slob.
It sounds interesting.
And
what does it do?
You take the little plastic containers and you stick the thunder stick in there and you put a bunch of milk and it whips it up, makes you a whole bunch of foamy
it's like a grinder on a stick thing.
Yeah,
I might
exactly.
have seen that. Yeah,
the thunder stick.
Let's get 3.
You stick it. Time Life Music CD collections. Those are actually pretty entertaining to watch.
Sometime.
Tony Robbins with that big face. He's got a head that weighs 100 pounds. Torso Tiger. The Torso Track Suzanne Summers. The Total Gym Chuck Norris and Christy Brinkley. The Turbo Cooker. The Windsor Pilots. Exercise tapes with celebrities. What? Windsor Pilots?
Pilates.
Excuse me. The Zap All-Purpose Cleaner and Z-Max Auto Engine Lubricant Improvement Liquid Stuff. Those are just a few, and I'm sure they'll have some of their own. At least we hope.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Missed out on the Tickle Me Elmo craze, here's great news. Kids are gonna love the new Tickle Me Jacko doll. The lifelike Michael Jackson plush toy that titters when you tickle its genitals. And Mom, not only is the machine washable, but the color gets lighter with every wash. And it comes complete with detachable nose and miniature checkbook. The Tickle Me Jacko doll, new from Built and Badly. Recommended for boys ages 6 through 12.
If you missed, well, that was the beginning of that, which I had the pot down. Sorry about that. Am I sorry about it? Not really. Here's a couple of faxes from one of our chronic faxers. It said the one for the... And where the hell did he go? He's the infomercial expert. Where the hell did Carlos go?
Maybe to smoke or pee.
No, he can't smoke during the show when he's involved. I mean, when he's not involved, which is most of the time, anything meaningful, that's okay. He can't smoke or pee. The one for the shirt folder, the one where you place the shirt on his little cardboard or plastic folding thing and you flip it toward the middle and it folds your shirts perfectly. Oh, I've seen that.
I'll write that down.
Okay, the shirt
I'm sure
folder.
Eric is listening. He can just stick it on there.
What does he know? Also, it says, like the small, handy 600-watt vacuum cleaner picks up nuts and bolts and everything else, including bowling balls and dildos. I got one at Brandsmart. Mine's called the Shark. The Shark vacuum, I guess. I don't know. And of course, he's not here. He's out dicking around somewhere, so we don't know. Since this is his one area of expertise that we finally found is TV infomercials, and he's out diddling around with his Shark. He's squeezing.
He didn't say where he was going. He just up and left.
What's your favorite TV infomercial, we asked today? Plus, did you see Michael Jackson last night? Because I didn't and George didn't. He said, he went to get the mail.
I see.
He went to get the very important mail. Isn't our mail important? No. We need you in here. We don't need you schlepping around getting the goddamn mail, okay? We need you in here to tell us about the Shark little vacuum, whatever. And what was the other one? The plastic shirt folder? What's that called, you know?
Shirt folder.
Oh, the shirt folder.
I don't know. He'll find it.
We didn't need him for that anyway. The shirt folder. You've seen that thing. And then what's the thing where the plastic thing where you put for the travel thing where you put your pillows in it? Haven't you ever seen that one?
The Space Saver.
This is very good. The Space Saver. Where you take your huge, big, fluffy pillows and you put them in this plastic, and the plastic, you squeeze and hump, and it sucks all the air out. And your pillow is the size of a postage stamp.
Right.
And then when you get to like Lisbon, wherever the hell you're going, or to Madrid, or like to Baghdad, you unload your Baghdad, and you let it out, and it all puffs up again, nice and fluffy, and etc.
I've seen that.
Kind of nice, easy to travel if you have a big dog you're traveling with too, I guess. Huh?
Or your ma.
Or ma would be good. That sounds really like a wiener to me.
Stick her in the overhead.
Right. 43 people say I hate all infomercials. That's bad. How can you say that? That's probably because they never saw a good one. Or because they don't have the patience to sit through and realize that a lot of those are very entertaining, even though you would never ever, well, you never know if you get hooked. Maybe that's what they're afraid of. That they're going to get hooked and they're going to actually wind up making these 17 easy payments of only $49.99 each. Things like that. 48 people say I hate all infomercials. 19. Guess which one is leading? I'll give you one guess.
Pocket Fisherman.
Girls Gone Wild.
Oh.
What a surprise, huh? Girls Gone Wild videos. That's what they want to see. Ron Popeil Showtime Rotisserie Barbecue is tied with the Ron Popeil Pocket Fisherman with 7 apiece. Oh! Nice going, Ron.
See, and of course, when you watch The Girls Gone Wild, you can go pocket fishing at the same time.
No question about that. And maybe get hooked on it. Now, let me ask you this. The Pocket Fisherman, is that also referred to as a machine? Oh, and guess what? How could we forget, you schmuck? Since we got at least 2 bits on it. The Ron Popeil Vegematic. That slices and dices and entices. Right?
Right, of course.
And makes everything as small as little rices. Oh, sorry, Condoleezza, sorry. Let's see, the pocket favorite. I never saw one for. Come on! Get out of town. We got 4 people in this audience never saw an infomercial?
Maybe they don't have cable. Maybe they don't have a TV.
Look, if they got a pop-up toaster, that's all they need. They're so frequent. They're all over the place. You're surrounded by them.
Maybe they're living under the overpass.
We're drowning in a sea of infomercials. Tony Robbins 3, and then it's small potatoes after that. Out of our first, whatever we got votes. 101. So the poll is up there, and like peruse, and then anything you don't find in there, we'd like to hear from you. Because we want to make a complete list of what? At least 200-300 of them? At least 400. Keep you off the streets this weekend. WQAM.
How you doing today?
Okay.
Good. I figured if I call now, you could knock one of those payments off.
Okay.
One of the $14.99 payments off. How you doing, Neil?
Excellent.
Good, good. All right. Have a good day.
I'm sitting here. I mean, it was very enthusiastic, et cetera, and so on. But what does that mean? Did we give out our toll-free number to call, and our operators are standing by? Something. I see. Okay, we'll figure that out once the food gets here, okay? Says call him when the party started, which is when Ira shows up. And probably Scott will tag along, too. You know, he's a tag-along. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon Wireless line. Michael Jackson, freak, friend, or foe? That's our on-air question today. George says he had a bad childhood, a bad upbringing, and so that's a good excuse for why he's molesting all these little boys.
Everything. That's
why.
What I said.
That's what you said. And that's what Joe Costello called you and also said. Did he call you?
No, he was talking about it on the air. Carlos heard it.
Oh.
You're confusing
and he said
excuses.
What did he say?
With reasons. That he feels sorry for him and,
I don't.
He's not a pedophile and,
wait a minute. You know, something, I feel sorry for us. Because Joe, before he got married, used to be a really good guy. He was our good friend. Now, all I can say is...
He's an asshole.
He goes on the air, he's belly aching about my picking on old people. Well, you can't do that because we're all going to get old. He's become a goody two-shoes. No wonder their numbers are in the tank. No wonder Mo is bitching about having no lead-in. Huh? You think we got a bad lead-in? How do you like to follow that? 2 desperate guys. I mean, Joe just got married. I guess the thrill is long gone by now, like Michael would say. The thrill is gone. Huh? Nobody would say? But I mean, to be defending him and say he's not a pedophile? Based on what?
He's a whack job.
WQAM, hello. Tamarack.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Earlier
you were talking about Bundy and what made him so goofy or sociopathic.
Yeah.
He was born to a girl that was, barely pubescent, and he was raised with the impression that his mother was actually his sister.
Right, that's right.
By his grandma.
Right.
But in terms of infomercials, could you play Badger-matic at some point?
Okay.
Or maybe Wednesday?
You got it. And say hi to Ted for us. Hope it's not getting uncomfortable. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon Wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Stop reading, please.
Yeah, he don't like the articles, I guess. He doesn't like the content. And the answer is no. I'll read whatever the hell I want to read, okay?
What did he have for us?
He had nothing for us. He had stop reading, please. He's got nothing to say. Look, if I thought I could sit here and take 8 million phone calls all day, whether they were good, bad, or indifferent, it wouldn't be any problem. I'd never read anything. But it's the same old Neil begs for calls. That's what you want. Don't do me any fun to sit here and read and feel like I have to read a mile a minute because I don't want to put everybody into a coma. But there's some things that need to be read, as opposed to just the usual spoon-fed propaganda that the public sucks up. Oh, we like you so much when you're just doing fun and games, because once you start with your liberal, with the viewpoints that you don't want to be expressed on the airwaves of America, we do understand that, don't we? Yes. Yes, we do. Oh, and I didn't put you down, and he said, well, you know what? Take that diary and stuff it up your ass, okay, pal? We don't pander to anybody on this show, because if we did, believe me, the nature of this program would be a lot different. I'd become real heterosexual overnight, guaranteed. I'd be talking about boobs and butts and boinking and whatever the hell Tom Hopkins said. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Okay.
I have a question. Did you read a couple of days ago, I was looking at the BBC website news, and they had an article about the church saying how it's against all new types of New Age treatments, from whether feng shui to yoga or whatever. And then the same page, it says that the Pope likes Harry Potter. Now, my question is this. Ain't it contradicting the same people who say Halloween and witches and all that is pagan and it's against the ain't Harry
Did
Potter.
you know that Tabitha's a witch?
Well, yeah. I'm just saying that.
Ask Kay, she'll tell you Tabitha's a witch. Oh, look at that. There's by the way, I brought your hockey tickets and parking pass. You did want the Tampa Bay game, which is tomorrow night, which I can't imagine why anybody want to go see that, but there you go. The old Michael Jackson album, a record. Hey, boys and girls, all you punks out there under the age of 70, they used to make records, and there's Michael Jackson off the wall.
This is a keeper.
Yeah.
Let's put this on the wall.
Wasn't she pretty then, huh?
A reminder of,
look at that, with a black bow tie and a black suit and nice clean white shirt.
And a black skin.
Yeah, and that's right, and his skin was actually like black back then as opposed to very, very, whatever it is now, like very light mocha.
Real nose.
And a real nose! He looks like almost human right there,
Actually,
you know?
his skin is like
Well,
gray.
let me ask you something. If he had that bad upbringing and bad childhood, which is the reason he's still living his childhood and don't understand the difference, how come back then he seemed to be like a little bit better adjusted, huh? Was this like on a slow delay? Is that what it is? It was like on time delay?
He was always effed up.
Excuse maker, it was on time delay.
I wasn't making excuses.
He was okay
word
back
twister,
then, but now...
Word twister.
You and Joe Costello joined at the hip. No wonder he goes with the swing club with Joe all the time, huh? They're not fooling me, either one of them. I mean, how could you possibly even say that?
Why do you keep
You're such a hard ass to begin with, and why do you keep making excuses for somebody as grotesque and freaky? Do you think it's nice that a 44-year-old guy's sleeping with 12 and 13-year-old boys?
I didn't say that. Word twister.
And this kid is putting his head on his shoulder and they're holding hands?
It's disgusting. He's a sicko.
You know what we say? And again, I want to make very careful because all the right-wingers out there see those facts. But the fact of the matter is when I see a guy holding another guy's hand quite like that, you know what I say?
You're gay.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
And in his case, you're also a pedophile on top of it, which is what is really reprehensible. And you're making excuses, which is what makes it even more than reprehensible. I find it disgusting and grotesque.
I was not.
Buzz.
No.
Hey, let me tell you right now, call our friends at Dollar Mattress. You'll get a good night's sleep. Only, though, they will not sell you if you're going to be sleeping with little boys in your bed. Okay, unless you're another little boy, which I guess maybe it's your brother or cousin, sleepover. Anyway, they don't care. Whatever you're doing on there, it's not their business. Call 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRS, and have a great night's sleep from Dollar Mattress, because if you don't get a good night's sleep, you feel like crap. You know that already. You wake up in the morning, you don't feel like you've had any rest. Dial Mattress guarantees you the top mattresses in the world. They got Sealy, Serta, Simmons, King Coral, every size, every style. And you have 30 days to try it out in your home to make sure it's the best mattress for you and your back, the best comfort exchange policy under the sun, the best delivery policy too. Any day of the week, you know how it works, 7 days a week. You pick the 2-hour window when it's convenient when you're going to be home, and they'll be there to take away the crappy old bedding and set up the exciting new one. Unbeatable everyday low prices, too. So why would anybody with a brain schlep all over town to bedding or department stores when the smart way is to do what I'm doing and George and Miguel and everybody else is doing? Get you a great new mattress, a name brand mattress at an unbeatable price from Dial a Mattress. One easy call, that's all it takes. 1-800-MATTRESS. 1-800-MATTRES, or check them out on the web if you like at mattress.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Tonight on HBO, he was only a corporal during the First World War, but 20 years later, he was elected chancellor. He tried to conquer the world through brutality and brilliant military tactics, even though he was a little light in his jackboots. The saga continues in Der Flaming Fuhrer.
Mein Führer, we are ready to mount our attack.
Are the men battle-hardened?
Jawohl, mein Führer.
Then let's get started. We need to attack from the behind and penetrate from the rear.
Der Flaming Fuhrer, tonight on HBO.
Mein Führer, the enemy's fortifications have stiffened.
I love stiff fortifications. We must take a firm grip in the bulge area, zip down the front lines, then swallow anything those Yanks erect.
It's history like you've never seen it before.
We'll see how Churchill likes smoking my knockwurst.
10:17 at 560 WQM. Happy Friday to you. The Miracle Blade knife, you jackass, says this faxer. It also says, say hello to that sperm burping spick for me. Hello, George.
Hey.
Hello, George. No, not you. Not you. What is it?
He throws it over here like if he wasn't the one talking.
If you're going to talk on that thing, get closer to it. You were just mumbling. What?
He throws the microphone over here like if he wasn't the one talking.
And Miracle Blade, you got it?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's on there. What is that?
Boy, there are more of those things with the sharp knives. The Ginsu, what do they call that? The Ginsu what?
The Ginsu knife.
Jay McCorkle's real estate scam, it says, who is now serving 20 years in prison for fraud along with his wife. I don't remember that. Jay McCorkle's real estate scam?
I don't.
And what makes him any worse than that Carlton Sheets Oh, I also got that years ago. I have that sitting, I think I never threw it out. The Carlton Sheets thing. You know what it is?
No.
That real estate? It's a bunch of sheets. No, not the kind you sleep on, like these, sheets of paper. Yeah. The Flowbee.
How could we forget the Flowbee?
Now, what does the Flowbee do? I remember the name.
It's a hair cutter. You attach it to your vacuum cleaner, remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And it cuts your hair and sucks it all right down, too. Wow. I know some barbers like that. Here's one that says you didn't mention Tony the fat guy. Can't mention Orange Glow or they'll cut down your house due to citrus canker. That's a good point. But Tony the fat guy, that's the one that I was telling you before, the chef, the little round rotund chef. He sells the Ginsu knives among many, many other things. Mel, that's the name of the guy with the miracle, the Wonder Stick, Thunder Stick. Mel. He's on a bunch of Mel, some schmuck. Putz. He's got like an overhang and he's always dressed even sloppier than I am. And and then he's got this rednecky old broad. I can't believe you never saw the Thunder Stick.
Maybe.
And she's taking her peanuts and she puts them in a plastic thing and she's making peanut butter and she's squishing them all around, you know. You never saw that? Oh, that's a lot of fun, man. You better start watching your infomercials, mister, instead of listening to that Michael Jackson album. Too bad we don't have a turntable.
We could hear all the pops and
we have a cart machine.
But if I am guilty of anything, it is of giving all that I have to give. My penis, my buttocks, my lower torso, thighs, and any other area that they wanted to help children all over the world.
Exactly. You know what I'm always said about Michael Jackson's music?
I'm infectious!
1019 at 560 WQAM. I hate all infomercials. 71 of these hard-hearted bastards out there in the audience. They hate them all. Come on. Where's the fun in it? Well, I'm sorry, I forgot where I was. Girls Gone Wild. Videos 31. Now we're talking. Ron Popeil Pocket Fisherman 10. The Ron Popeil Showtime Rotisserie Barbecue 9. You better get with it. That's a great infomercial. And then he's got the one where his daughter is on there. The one I used to love, and they don't put her on there, the cross-eyed broad that used to do all the ones with him, and she did a whole bunch of infomercials. Don't you remember her? She was like Karen Black, cross-eyed. But anyway, she'd start out the infomercial and say, and now I want all of you to welcome Ron Popeil, and he'd come out there, hey, I know, I want to thank you for being here because I know you're busy. Like he was donating his time, and what a wonderful thing that a busy man like him would. In the meantime, it's his own damn infomercial, okay? He's selling you a product as a oh God, I know you're busy.
Doing that.
And now we got the other chick that's got all the magazines, which he's practically dropping them on the floor. Oh, you're just getting so much publicity. You're all over the place. You're in this one and that one and Better Homes and Gardens and Better Con Jobs, whatever. So you better get with that Showtime Rotisserie Barbecue. In fact, maybe some people will call in and tell us that they've actually bought some of these things. See, I have no shame. I mean, that's why I'm working here. I have no shame. So I'm not embarrassed to tell you that I bought the Carlton Sheets thing a long time ago when I was a schlepper. I was going to sell real estate. Buy it and sell it and buy it.
How'd it go for you?
Sheets. Yeah, sheets in the closet. Sheets on your bed, sheets in the closet.
Tell us about the Don Lapre thing. Money-making secrets.
No, I never got that one yet.
That's why he's living under the overpass.
Oh, you mean Carlos? Yeah. He's still living under the overpass. But he does get his mail there. That's a good thing. Now, it does get blown away on a windy day. That's the unfortunate part of it, but he does get his mail. It's called a mail drop. They just drop it like right next to his burlap sack. 5670560. Here's a call from Hialeah. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, you know the Showtime Rotisserie Grill has two versions. There's a cross-eyed lady, which is Judy.
Right.
And then there's the girl from the Love Boat. So there's two different versions of that one.
Well, there's several different ones. There's the new, slightly smaller one. Have you seen that one?
I've seen that one, too. When I
and
watched
this one is only 18 payments of $129.99.
Even if I'm watching anything else and I see that, I'll stop and watch it. But my favorite one, I don't know if you've seen it, is the Jack LaLanne juicer.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like he's 900 years old. Like, why would I want to buy that juicer?
So he can look just like him.
And he's still wearing the same outfit from the 50s or the 60s.
Exactly.
What a trip. All right, Neil. Thank you very much.
Okay, squeeze it hard. He's squeezing it on the Jack LaLanne juicer. I guess that's, if you're going to do one of those juicers, the idea is to take these real old guys and look at this. I'm still alive because I'm the juicy man. I'm drinking all this juice. I'm busy juicing all day long. I'm squeezing it. But the fact of the matter, like he says, is who would want to look like that? Who would want to look like most of the people on the infomercials, like Fat Tony, like Mel, like that rednecky broad with her thunder stick? God only knows where she's sticking that thing. I can only speculate.
Does it cause thunder?
I guess.
Down under.
That's at the, what you call it? Outback. The Outback, the
I
chocolate
understand.
thunder.
Thunder from
Oh,
Down
so you're
Under.
making it worse. The chocolate thunder down under. I've had that. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
Great.
I have a shameless request.
Yeah.
Can you play the one where Saddam and his generals are fooling the UN, the inspectors?
Okay. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. You see, build up a little enthusiasm and momentum, although we do have lunch coming, which is really good, from your good, close, personal friend, Ira. And, you know, I'll tell you one thing, if Scott comes in here, I just might kill some people. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello. Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, I'm sorry, Neil.
Don't be sorry.
Have you seen the one, the infomercial with Ron Jeremy for Extend?
Are you kidding me?
No, you haven't seen it? Has George seen it?
Yeah.
For what?
How can they put that on the air?
Oh, they do. They have it on the air. It's on a cable channel.
It's a penal extensions thing?
Yes. Extend. Ron Jeremy and a bunch of porn queens.
I got to keep my eye out for that.
Yeah.
In fact, what I'm going to do, as soon as I go home, I'm going to program my TV to make sure to block it out.
I'm not pulling your leg or anything
You're
else.
not pulling it.
It's
Okay,
there.
thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for the good news.
He's surprised
All right.
I haven't seen it. Like, I would linger on the image of Ron Jeremy for more than a
Not
fraction
me.
of a second. Would
No.
you? Would anybody?
My set won't allow that much hair to come on. It blocks it out.
There ought to be a chip.
So you've seen that? It's a penis extender, and now that I think about it, how does that work?
It's a medicine.
Oh, it's a
pill.
medicine. It's another damn pill. It's like Viagra Light or Viagra Intense or whatever. Ron Jeremy. Hey, one day you can look just as good as Ron, and maybe you can be double-jointed too, but I doubt it. You can be a human furball like Ron. Remember that day that he was in here? How could we forget?
I'm trying to
and the way that some of the people in this building were carrying on.
I know.
I mean, why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Maybe they
I can
don't get
understand
it.
if Peter North was in the building, maybe a few years ago before he got to be 90, or if like Bambi Woods or one of those people was in the building. But Ron
Greasy,
Jeremy,
hairy hog.
Oh, and when I told him that right to his ugly puss, he was actually legitimately
Right.
offended.
He was.
He was offended. I'm fat. Yeah, you're fat.
And
Why?
hairy and
Look, I
disgusting
don't understand.
and ugly in the
Like
face.
Julio. Now we like Julio, engineer Julio a lot. He's a great guy, but he's a fat tub. He's not pleasingly plump. He's a fat tub. He's huge. That doesn't make him a bad guy, but he's not.
Lock that door there, Carlos.
Carlos leaning on the door. Believe me, it'll take a lot more
you
than
gotta
a lot
lock
more
it.
than
He'll
you
thrust
to
right
keep
through
him
it.
out of there.
And he's got the key, so.
But why is it that so many fat people act like, oh, you don't say that, I'm pleasantly plump. No, you're not. You're a big tub, Ron. Ron freaking Jeremy, man. Good God. Put your clothes back on. The more you take off, the more nauseous we get.
And what was bigger, his gut or his ego?
No contest. Ego. Massive ego. But he's a close friend of a good buddy of yours. 26 past 10 at 560 WQM. You can use both their apartments someday, okay? Use the apartment. I'll tell you a great place who's also a good friend of those people is Jeff Cohen. Isn't that interesting how this, I've told you that over the years.
Right.
Sooner or later, all the pieces of the puzzle, they fit together, you know? And they are right here. Jeff Cohen, a really wild and woolly guy. He's got two fantastic restaurants in Broward County, the Pizza Loft. There's the original Broward location. That's on University Drive between Griffin and 595, right behind Pier 1 Imports in the big Pizza Loft Plaza with about 6 million acres of free parking, right kitty corner of the Armadillo Cafe. And then you got the brand new Pizza Loft in Plantation. And boy, did we ever need something really good out there, because it's really sparse for that kind of a restaurant anywhere in West Broward. And they're on the corner of Nob Hill and Sunrise, right behind Walgreens. Both restaurants featuring the same delicious Italian goodies. Everything is cooked fresh, made to order. Nothing is prefab, no crap. They got 3 different kinds of great pizza, the best garlic rolls I guarantee you've ever had in your life. And they got chicken and veal and seafood, and they got calzone, super subs, and lots more too. Like I said, prices are always very reasonable, so you and the whole family can eat as often as you want. If you want takeout or delivery or catering, they do that too. In Davie, call this number, 954-916-8880. 954-916-8880. And of course in Plantation, 382-1999. 954-382-1999. And whatever you do, make it a resolution. It's February already, but not too late to make a resolution in order to make up for the fact that Rimmer's going to get the full 100% discount now. Well, don't give me a look.
Sure about that? Because I don't,
we
you
damn
want
well
me to get
be
any more
better
phone
about
calls.
making sure that you're not going to get that free lunch. So in order to compensate for the fact that the Rimmers are going to be eating there for free, eat more often than usual, like 10, 20, 30 times a week at the world-famous Pizza Loft, both locations.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAQAM.
I can't stop. Did you see our ratings for the last book?
Yeah, I
know whose fault that is.
Sure. Couldn't possibly be us. Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No, mo, no, mo, no, mo, no, mo. Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No more. Those are boss. I got enough I gotta think about on top of getting raped, and I don't need a rating that's a -8.
Don't care what you do, long as it's understood. You gotta work a little harder on the guest you book.
Or else you gots to go. There's a lot of fat producers, you know.
That's right.
Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No mo, no mo, no mo, no mo. Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No mo. Oh, brother, all that blubber I don't understand. How you can eat from a trough while using both hands.
You big fat punch, you made our ratings full. You just like Clinton, it's all your fault.
Better straighten your fat ass out.
Or we'll take the food out of your mouth.
That's right. Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No mo, no mo, no mo, no mo. Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No mo. No.
Listen what we say.
Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No mo, no mo, no mo, no mo. Watch your back, Zach, or you won't wait for more. No mo. You know who I am? You're lucky you got a job here. Try that one more time and you're all fired.
10:32, 560 WQM. Geldy did a good show this morning. Mo was out. His dog, I guess, is sick or something. And Geldy was on there alone. Did a pretty interesting show.
All upbeat.
Had a very great ambiance here this morning. I noticed Clarence wasn't here monitoring the show. It was pretty interesting. Paul says, don't forget the Flowbee haircutting system. Oh, we didn't, Paul. We just mentioned that like about 10 seconds ago. He probably wasn't paying too much attention. Dave in Boca says, how about the infomercial running now for the pasta cooker? Yeah, this is heavy duty now. It's all over the place. The pan with the holes in lid, that you turn the lid and it locks in place. So you can pour the water out.
Spaghetti down the sink.
It says this one's funny because they have these retards pouring water from regular pans and dumping spaghetti in the sink like idiots. Yeah, they show all these clumsy assholes splattering and burning and potchking and oystering.
God forbid you should use a colander.
A colander? They actually have such a thing? And David Boca says they're
stupid.
Yeah. Is it really that hard to drain spaghetti? I don't think so. David Boca, and at the end of his fax, he says, that's what he said. Here's one. It says, is Miss Cleo the Psychic considered an infomercial? You bet. It sure was. Got to get Miss Cleo on there, even though it may not, doesn't have to be one that's on right now. And another good one. The blue blocker sunglasses with the fat wrapper.
The blue blockers.
The blue blockers. Don't we have a bit on that? The blue, we used to somewhere.
We got something somewhere.
A blue blocker bit. Also the Snack Master. Now that's, what is that? Oh yeah, that's the one where you're like, that would be perfect for me for my grilled cheese sandwiches.
Oh, the triangular, cooker thingy.
That's right.
Iron
oh, that's been a long time back. We have to have a good memory for that. That was a pretty good thing, it looked like.
Yeah, who knows?
The grill part of it was like a grill.
Like a waffle iron.
Like a portable waffle iron. And it folded over. So you could make like grilled cheese sandwiches on there or whatever.
Is that the name of it? Snack Master?
The Snack Master. Very good. Thank you so much. Also, Country Western's 160 Greatest Hits. Boy, can you imagine how much picking and grinning you could do 160 Greatest Hits? You could pick until your brain bled. I mean, you don't have to put these on there necessarily. The Snack Master probably does. In addition to which, most of the people hate these all anyway, which is why we ought to be doing this. We're asking today, what's your favorite TV infomercial? Assuming, I mean, we could have asked which one do you hate the most or is the most annoying, but we don't want to be so negative, do we? They always accuse me of being negative, right? I try to be a little positive, and I still think that a lot of them are very entertaining, especially compared to so much of the crap that's on round the clock. Crap. Turn on the cable, crap. You turn on satellite number 1, more crap. Satellite 2, I mean, you can smell it. Like your TV set ought to be sitting in a septic tank. It's surrounded by so much crap. So you get a good infomercial on there, say, hey, this is a pretty interesting.
They could be playing along. I'm playing along. I don't watch these things.
Right. What do you mean you don't watch these things?
The one with the thongs, the butt lifting one.
Yeah, right. That's what they watch. I hate all infomercials 90. Girls Gone Wild videos 44. Ron Popeil Showtime Rotisserie Barbecue 13. Lucky 13 for Ron. I'd love to hear from somebody who's got one of those. Because everybody says, those are really good. Not that I want one. What am I going to do with it? I have no need for it. What am I going to do? I could, I guess. Does it fold down that small? Ron Popeil Pocket Fisherman 11. Never saw one 7. 7 people! By the way, how's Gilbert doing? Any raspberries today?
Not yet.
Oh, we're on to you, Gilbert. We're on to you. And let me tell you right now, we're going to send Luca Brazzi, Fat Rich, and Dave the Cop to your house to beat the crap out of you if you don't cut it out. We're on to you. Yeah.
And the other one that he does that we can't share.
That we can't say on the air.
Right.
Figures that somebody like you with those thick glasses who just has no life whatsoever and needs constant, never-ending attention would be the one that's like constantly, incessantly bugging the crap out of the people on the phone here. Yeah, back to you,
And not
Joe.
just us, by the way.
Really? Round the clock?
Round the clock.
Non-stop,
24/7.
round the
Joe
clock.
And Mark,
Thank
the morning
goodness.
guys,
Joe and Mark,
Mandich,
he's like,
Hank,
huh?
all of them. Eddie K, everybody.
And that's your fault. You do understand
Oh,
that.
yeah, I
because
know.
you won't put them on the air.
That's right. Even though you keep telling me to.
Yeah, I want to talk to Gilbert. Come on, Gilbert. Everything is okay.
Don and Mike, blow.
Schmuck. Here's a lady in Sunrise. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
I heard something that was disturbing from CNN News.
Yeah.
They want to have portable crematoriums for the military.
Yeah, that's on our website. We put that
Oh,
story
I'm
on there.
sorry.
That's okay.
I have the Pasta Perfect, and it works for all foods that you have to boil in hot water. It works excellent. I like it.
So in other words, a colander doesn't get the job done? Oh, I guess there are other things you could boil that wouldn't be like working a colander so good.
Yeah, you get two sizes, a
Broccoli?
small and medium, but it does work. I think it's probably overpriced, though.
How much was it?
Mine was like $29. For the two
$29.
pans.
I guarantee you one of those plastic colanders, which I have one at home, I have one in my apartment in Toronto, I have one even in Amsterdam. They probably cost like what, $1.98?
Yeah, I have those too, but you got a cheese grater with it.
Oh, well, if I knew that, I'll get two. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
It sounds really great. See, I mean, look, those things wouldn't be on there unless suckers like us were buying them hand over fist, okay? They're on there because it's on television. And no matter how much we know we're getting conned, it's like all these people with their newsletters. The financial newsletter. Right. Even Dr. Bob Arnott, who is now no longer Dr. Bob, but now an international expert on everything from aviation to world affairs, he had a newsletter on health. It was crap. Not that these people would exploit the fact that they're on television for fun and profit to try to suck the blood money out of all of us suckers out there, but they do. They do. I wish I could think of that Steve Garvey one. Because that really fries my ass. Oh, and they're showing all these people shoveling. You know what it looked like?
What?
What the hell is that REM song?
Give me a hint.
The most recent, the big hit they had last year that I was playing all the time. Where they had
Losing
their
My
really...
Religion?
No, not losing.
Thanks,
That was
Carlos.
last year, Losing My Religion. What is wrong with this
Never
man?
listening to this man again.
But anyway, they were all sitting there. And they
Shiny,
were,
happy people?
Well, forget about it. But it reminds me, all these people are sitting around there at an outdoor barbecue, and they're shoving all this big, thick, juicy cheeseburgers with big buns and fries, greasy fries, and you can eat all of these things and watch the pounds pour off your body. And there's Steve Garvey, one of the most boring people on the face of the earth.
It's not like the turbo cooker, is it? That air cooking thing?
They're pills. What did I just say? They're pills to lose
pills?
weight. What has the turbo cooker got to do with losing weight?
French fries. You mentioned French fries.
No. No, the idea is that you can eat all these things and still lose weight by popping these pills. And then the other pill is the exercise in the bottle. For those of you who are too lazy to exercise.
Enforma?
And that's it, Enforma. Did somebody call with that? Or
No, he found it on
the Enforma. Oh, yeah. I want to inform you that those people are mostly in jail at this point. And then Tom Bosley was on one where he was peddling some crap, but I don't remember what it was. And there's like a 10-minute disclaimer in the beginning about, he's got to protect his reputation, and you know him from Happy Days, and how he wouldn't endorse anything unless it was really the MS. And then he goes on to some scam. I don't know what it is. Some crap. Somebody will know what that was. Tom Bosley, who annoyed me to begin with. And I hate to say it, I never liked that show anyway. Am I the only one?
Happy Days?
Yeah, I hated it.
It was horrible.
I hated that show.
Hey! Like for kids.
I liked it when Scott Baio came on there, but that's because I'm an old fag. You know, I liked looking at him, but... Huh?
You didn't like Fonzie?
No,
Hey.
Fonzie? Are you kidding me?
One of yours.
I wouldn't wipe my ass with his face. and
Thanks for that
Richie,
image.
of course, now he's a great director. You know, Ron Howard. It's not Ronnie anymore. Ron Howard. He's a brilliant director, and he's right. And maybe he is. I don't know.
Nah.
It's good enough for John Stockwell. I'd like to shake John Stockwell's hand just once. He's an old man now. He's like 40-something.
Ancient.
Do you know who that is?
Grizzled.
I've talked about him a million times. He was,
I know who he is.
A fine young man. 20 before 11 now, he's probably a fine old man. Like some of us, we're getting pretty old.
Yes.
In fact, I'm almost ready for mahjong and checkered pants. I heard Mo say that a couple of days ago. Almost drove off the road. And then I loved it when Geldy said, "What do you mean almost?" Nice going, Gildy. Gildy's butching up a little bit. I guess he really wants Jug's job extra bad now. Hey, have you outgrown your home? Is your family getting bigger? Need more room for an at-home office, a nursery, sewing room, a new master bedroom or bath? Maybe a place to store all of those pieces of crap you bought from the infomercials. Well, whatever. When you need more space for your place, call our guys at Strictly Additions. Strictly Additions is your one-stop shop, more space for your place with a worry-free approach to expanding your living space. They show up exactly when they say they will, in other words, on time. You won't have any hidden charges. They're the experts at pulling permits, too, so the work gets completed on time. And now for the new year, you can use your income tax return to get all the work done for you. All you people out there shopping for new homes, why bother? By the time you sell, you buy, you close, and move, you might as well pull some equity out of your current home and call Strictly Additions. You'll pay for a new addition to your home that you already love. Call Strictly Additions today at 954-791-8100. That's 954-791-8100. They're licensed, they're insured professionals. They did a super job in George's house. Call 954-791-8100 for a free estimate. Call Craig or Patrick. Strictly Additions is going to save you a lot of time, a lot of cash. You won't have to move to improve. Get you a whole new house with the same address. Call 954-791-8100 for Strictly Additions today. And be sure and tell them that old Petey Lenny told you to call.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Get anybody nervous? The terror threat is being raised to orange today.
It's Friday, you bastards.
Coming up tonight on Inside the Behind the True Hollywood Celebrity Music Biography Profile Story, we take a good, hard, stiff look into stardom. Finding out the sweet girl you had a crush on in high school has posed naked in Playboy might be a little traumatic. But what man wouldn't want to simply get over it and bang her anyway? Certainly not the J. Giles Band.
Listen, man, it was harsh. I used to see that girl every day in homeroom. I thought she would be pure, perfect forever. You just don't picture an angel busting a hymen, know what I mean?
J. Giles' lead singer, Peter Wolf, who suffers from a classic Madonna whore complex, according to psychologist Helen Killman.
With the Madonna whore complex, the woman is a saintly, virginal beauty. Or she is a filthy whore. The man desires both, but can only make love to the filthy whore. Unless, of course, the filthy whore is Madonna herself, of course.
Oh, it got bad for Peter, man. He would just stare at that centerfold all day, and his eyes would tear up.
The band's manager, Slappy Gold, describes the horrible day that Peter Wolf turned up in the emergency room.
Finally, he couldn't help himself. He gets naked, lays out the magazine centerfold, and, well, let's just say that's how that old story got started, you know, about getting it caught on a staple.
Peter Wolf himself remembers that day. After several botched reconstructive surgeries, Peter Wolf put aside his fears of seeing his old high school crush with her clothes off, and made a date, arranging to take her to a motel room and take him off in private.
So my sweet angel was a dirty whore after all. Hey, now that I can hump.
The J. Giles Band. Retrograde male bullshit since 1982. It's a big, juicy, sopping wet look at show business tonight on Inside the Behind.
1047, 560 WQM. The terror threats being raised to orange today. Beginning of the show, we told you that they were thinking about it. Now they're going to do it. Are they telling us why?
No.
Anything specific?
No.
No, they never do that. But it's high.
I'll start getting more nervous.
Here's the facts about Jeff Rimmer. From George in Montreal, who says, listening online in Montreal, go to Florida every winter. Yuck, it says. Ask Rimmer about Pete Rose. Ask him about how Pete Rose bitch-slapped Rimmer in the Expos Clubhouse 1984. Yeah.
Really?
And at the very end, I'm going to save this and ask Rimmer about this next time we have free meals at the Pizza Loft. Rimmer was just as annoying in Montreal as he is in Florida today, says George from Montreal. How do you like that? George is laughing real hard, Rimmer. No wonder he hates you like poison.
I want to send Pete a card.
If it's free, it's me. Yeah, then maybe that's why. I wonder if he was a freeloader in Montreal. Well,
yeah, this is a new thing for him.
Silly thing to ask. Steve Garvey discusses being sued for infomercial selling weight loss system. And here's our good friend. This is about 85 pages that our not-so-good friend Dave, Jeff High's neighbor, sent me with a whole interview about Steve Garvey. Thanks very much for wasting our time, Dave. And I'm sure your intentions were good. How you doing, Ira? Nice to see you. And I noticed that Scott didn't come in. No wonder it's such a good day. Oh! Yeah! Well, he's probably guarding the place because we got that orange alert now. Don't anybody get nervous now. We've been on orange alert before, and the Earth is still spinning around.
Talk about how difficult was it going to be to come from orange back down to yellow.
Yeah, how difficult is that going to be, you know? How are we going to survive with this? What level of hysteria are we supposed to... I wish they would tell us just how hysterical we need to be and how many hours per day we have to hide under the bed.
I think we should be hysterical enough to go home.
Okay, well, right after lunch. How's that?
I'm panicking. I'm having an anxiety
Right after we eat
attack.
the free food from Atlantic City
No,
Subs
we've
in
got paper
Hollywood,
bags.
where Ira makes the difference.
We could take a bag lunch home.
Yeah, we could take a sack home. What's your favorite TV infomercial we're asking today? And I guess the Michael Jackson thing last night, although I'm sure many, many people saw it, what is there to say besides George and Joe Costello defending him on the grounds that he was confused and abused and...
Keep lying.
You said it.
I wasn't defending him. Why do you keep twisting
You're
things
rationalizing his
I wasn't
aberrant, unacceptable
rationalizing.
behavior,
You make
okay?
a mistake.
And I think they know every move that they're making, from hanging that kid over the balcony. They
All I
knew
said was
the
that he's a
publicity they were
crazy
getting.
person.
And just watch it and look at the result. CD and record sales are booming now.
Yeah.
Not just in Britain, but
I
around the
wasn't
world.
rationalizing
Billions
anything.
of dollars worth of free publicity. He's been doing it for years now, for decades. Just like Madonna. Every slutty thing she does, the media hops on it, and the story too.
Yeah, I don't think she's a crazy person.
Well, but
she's smart.
She's
Michael's
an
crazy.
exploiter. You know, it's a good thing we're doing
Michael's
this
a
thing
nut
about
job.
TV infomercials, because television is the greatest conduit, if I can say that, for peddling crap, bullshit to the public. Take a look at what's going on with this war we're about to embark on, huh? Well, what a great salesman job they did. They put the number one salesman in the government, Colin Powell, in there, and he's a very credible guy and would never steal a freight train. And everybody said, look at that! Look at that tube!
He'd steal a freight
Listen
train.
to that conversation, et cetera and so on. And now he's got everybody, the Democrats, all rolled over like dominoes at Domino Park, and that's the end of that. We're going in. And I don't mind going in if everything goes according to Hoyle. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that
There's no
always
question
happens.
that it would be really nice if we could eliminate him, although it would be nice if we didn't have to spend hundreds of billions of dollars to do it. That would be even nicer, to eliminate one man and his son and a few others.
Yeah, can't do it.
Well, I got news for you. Why don't we get some practice? In the next couple of weeks, why don't we just get rid of Castro and his brother, Raul?
As a kind of a dress rehearsal.
As a dress rehearsal would be good. Are we going to do that?
No.
He doesn't have any oil.
He's got confiscated
He
American
doesn't have
property.
weapons of mass destruction. He hasn't terrorized his people. He hasn't imprisoned those people who care to dissent. He has free and open elections.
That's right.
Isn't that true? Right. I mean, come on. But it's so easy. And North Korea is not dangerous.
Very specific notion of when, where, how, but you have to add the extra expense of all the precautions that employers and event stagers do.
Yeah, we're getting real nervous now. Orange alert. Anyway, what's your favorite TV infomercial? I hate all infomercials. 111, 2.3% said. How many votes we got? Well, most of these don't have any yet. 262 votes is all we got, but then again, there's so many on here. Girls Gone Wild videos, 53. I'd grab one of those right now, all you hetero guys out there. Ron Popeil Showtime Rotisserie Barbecue, 15. Ron Popeil Pocket Fisherman, 14. Did we put the Vegematic on there? Good. Never Saw One, 7. Suzanne Summers Blue Thigh Thing, the Thigh Master, 7. George Foreman Lean Mean Grilling Machine, 5. I gotta say one thing, even if you don't care about boxing, which I don't. George Foreman's a neat guy. I like George Foreman. He's funny. He don't take himself real serious, and he made a fortune with that Lean Mean Grilling Machine. Tony Robbins, 4. The Bowflex, 4. Soloflex, 3. Probably fags, like me. That's what I voted for. Carlton Sheets Real Estate Systems, 3. OxyClean 3, Cleaner, 3. Miracle Blade 2 has got 3. Don Lappa's Money Making Secrets, 3. GLH Great Looking Hair Spray On Hair, 3. And hair in a can. Super Blue Stuff, 3. Which you just kind of like put your hands in that and squish it around a little bit. That Super Blue Stuff. Kind of like erotic. 5, 6. Why were you interrupting there? And why is he potchking with the food in there? Are you potchking with it?
He's scared to go in there while you're talking.
Why is that?
I don't know.
When there's food in there, don't be scared to come in
Grab
here when
a paper
there's food.
plate, stick some sandwiches
Get your
and onions
priorities
on there
straightened
and,
out. The number one thing in here besides getting
right
paid,
in
which
front of
don't
his
come until
puss.
Monday, is getting free food, okay?
Now we got 2 of them. They can do a project.
Exactly. Miguel can do it. I brought him in those hockey tickets. That's the least he could do.
Get that plastic fork
cater
on the
my
floor
lunch.
there.
Really. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, guy? Long
Pretty good.
time. Got to straighten you out a little. Tom Bosley is SMC Mail Order Supply Company.
Right.
And you're giving Ron Popeil a lot of credit for stuff that Daddy Popeil came up with, Pocket Fisherman and all that kind of stuff.
I didn't know there was a Daddy Popeil.
Yeah, Daddy Popeil was Ronco.
Oh, really? I thought Ron Popeil started Ronco.
I don't
That's
think
what
so.
I thought.
I think it was his father.
With the inertian nutcracker and the record vac?
Yeah. Also, if you want some stuff that's good that I've actually purchased, the Food Saver is excellent. That thing really works. That's
Right.
a vacuum machine. And
Right.
Chop and Chop is pretty bad. OxyClean works great. The Met Wrench works great. And I don't know if you consider this an infomercial, but if you're interested, Home Shopping Club and basically them, they have a cookware called Ultrex, which is a real heavy-duty gourmet non-stick. You can use stainless steel tools on it, and I bought those things 2 years ago. You can't wear them out. Excellent stuff.
I tell you what, it sounds like you're a full-timer.
I might get a job on one of those things, you know.
Okay, well, give us a cut.
Take care.
Thanks a lot. I mentioned Herbalife. He's still dead. What was his name? The guy with the big head of hair? Herbalife
I don't
guy?
know, Steve.
Steve something. Very good. He's still dead. Oh, look at this. Muff just came in now. He's not even going to lunch right now and probably won't have to go to lunch now that we got all this great free food in here. He sure got a nose for lunch, don't he? Herbalife was one. What was the other one I mentioned during the break? Slipped on by. There's so damn many. Orange alert, by the way, Duff. I don't want to get you nervous. Orange alert! High alert, baby!
Don't we shut the station down during an orange alert?
That's what I heard. I mean, if it's good enough for Power 96 to send everybody home just out of, in mourning.
Don't we go into
I think
emergency
QM should send everybody home
right?
at 11 o'clock. We're willing to go through one more break.
And put a tape on.
And put a tape on and go home, because we're under orange alert.
I have to go put the shutters
You're
up.
making him nervous now because he's got to fly this weekend, okay? And you're making him real nervous, and you know what a pussy he is anyway, okay? You're making him... In fact, I just saw 4 hairs fall out.
We're Sports Radio 560, QAM.
In the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
Time for another, get your woman something holiday. You better get something or you'll be getting nothing, especially when it's Valentine's Day. She's a real big eater, was a real young looker, but since put on a pound or 2. So I went to the store, got a card for the whore, and if she don't like what I do, screw you. No kids come and take the boys after school, take you anywhere you want today. I put down the whipping sampler, you can eat candy after the all-you-can-eat buffet. She's the big girl, cellophane unfurls, and she bites up the chocolate cube ahead. Hot the chocolate cheese of you and chubby mouth, keep it drooling, oh God, I hate this holiday. I just can't stand Valentine's Day! Hate this day! 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 Oh, Merry Bliss!
1101 560 WQM. So anyway, Tom Ridge and John Ashcroft are going to be speaking at 1 o'clock today to get everybody nervous for the weekend. Cy Sperling and his Hair Club for Men. I'm not only the president, I'm a former client. Remember that? He says that?
I'm a member.
He's a member. Cy Sperling's Hair Club for Men. That's what I was trying to think about. Along with Herbalife. Guy's dead. A lot of drugs. Young guy. Multi-millionaire. A scam. A pyramid scam.
Yeah.
Back in those days, there were a whole bunch of those. None of them come to mind at the moment, but there were a whole bunch of those things.
Amway.
Amway, obvious.
Shackley,
Shackley vitamins, right?
Right.
Vitamins. Don't forget, it's the products. He had a certain way of saying that was so goddamn annoying, you wanted to smash him in the mouth. The product. That's exactly how he said it.
Moment.
124 people hate all infomercials. They wouldn't watch it if you paid them by the second. Girls Gone Wild Video 61. Ron Popeil Showtime Rotisserie Barbecue 17. And the Pocket Fisherman 14, Time Master 8. But anyway, speaking of that, where's my... I got so much stuff here. Wait till you hear this story, by the way, from Reuters. Oh, I shouldn't be reading because I want to get upset. I don't give a crap. An Italian court has ruled that taking 40 joints of hashish on a school trip is not a crime. The marijuana was for personal use since the 17-year-old student planned to share it with 2 fellow students and a teacher, the appeals court judge said. This is from Reuters. Under Italian law, selling marijuana is a crime, but possession for personal use is not.
Bye.
It could easily have been consumed during the many days of the trip, Corriere della Sera quoted the court ruling as saying. Corriere della Sera. The Evening Courier. Evening News. Corriere della Sera. Buonasera. Buonasera. Love that Italian, baby. I'm going back to Italy right now, where I'll be safe. You know what I mean?
I need to go right now.
Get some personal protection. I'm going to Sicilia, to Palermo. Where's that fact? Oh, here it is from Tracy, who says, I absolutely love my Ron Popeil Showtime rotisserie. I got one as a wedding gift 2 years ago. It's very easy to use and cooks meat perfectly. It'll make your meat perfect. You just set it and forget it, like the infomercial says. You just set it and forget it. Yeah! Like this. I love those crowds on those infomercials.
Now, is it loud?
And you notice the age of most of the people in those audiences? Death plus 10. I'm telling you, Ron. Hallandale, Sunrise Lakes, Surfside.
Oi!
Come on down here and tape some infomercials here, Ron. We'll have you a perfect audience. You mentioned they're going to get something for free. They'll say any crap you want. Just set it and forget it, like the infomercial says. Being primarily vegetarian, I knew nothing about cooking meat for my highly carnivorous family. It has saved my ass many times, Tracy said. In fact, she's probably even stuck her ass in it a couple of times. Just to be damn sure. Nice going, Tracy. Here's an interesting fact, George, from Chris. How about the very Christian Mr. Ego erection injection? He claims it will only work on heterosexuals. Also, Gilbert sucks Steve's ass at least twice per week, and all he can talk about on Steve's show is you. Thanks, Chris. Well, I guess Chris is the one who's listening to that show. The one that don't show up in the numbers at all? On a station that basically doesn't exist? So at least Gilbert has found a roosting place. Thank God for that, other than in between on our station here.
This is the amazing Gilbert reminding you not to drink and drive this holiday season.
Yeah, like on Purim, you might drop your home in Tasha. When is Purim, by the way? I always ask you that, and you never have an answer.
That's because it's not on this calendar.
It's a Goyish calendar?
Oi!
Sure should know that. Here's one. It said, Joe, just cut my TV in half with my Ginsu knives, but wait, there's more. What a great line, Joe. They always say that. But wait, there's more. If that didn't get you to be a sucker and make the call, but wait, there's more. I also took up all my house tiles down with my Ginsu spatula. I had my credit card ready, ? And lost my ass, says Joe. Only 72 easy payments of $89.99. Yeah, the new Ron Popeil Showtime is less than $100. Only 4 easy payments. Huh? Only 5 easy payments of $19.99, so it's like 4 cents less, 5 cents less than $100. And he tells you the price. And like somebody just brought out a magic wand and the fountain of youth. Oh, like that. Ooh. Yeah. Hi, Aliyah. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Great.
Now, I'm beyond nervous now with the high alert. Anyway,
good.
Last call.
I want you to be very nervous.
I am extremely. I don't know what to do this weekend.
Under the bed, man.
Exactly. That's where I'm going to go right now.
Take somebody good with you.
And hibernate. Now, that fax took my thunder. I was going to mention one of the original infomercials, the Ginsu knives.
Mm-hmm.
You remember, I love that where they cut the sliced the tomatoes, and then they went ahead and cut some sheet metal with the same knife.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredible. Oh, well, somebody took the thunder away.
I think sheet was the operative word.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend, and I'll see you under the bed.
Under the bed, yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Under the bed, folks. Uh-oh.
For a wide range of important tasks, from minting our nation's
It's the ceremonial
currency.
swearing in of Treasury Secretary John Snow to replace that Paul O'Neill geek that they had to blow out of there. It's the swearing in. You hear what he said? Yeah, it's the swearing in. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. And George made a good point during the break, which is very rare today since he's busy defending Michael Jackson.
Liar.
But the fact that the entire world now knows, since we made it very, very clear that even Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles can see that we're going to go to war no matter what anybody says or what anybody thinks. Maybe that just is a coincidence, but it could be since we're going to orange level alert today. Huh? Could be just a coincidence that we made it very clear that we are adamant and whatever. So you're always reading things into it. Here's Miramar. Hello. Miramar.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
It's not, it's Billy Mays alert. It's not the other one.
What is?
The orange alert. It's Billy Mays alert.
Oh.
Anyway, I got the Showtime.
Oh, I'm a little slow. Okay, I get you.
All right.
Very good.
All right. Hey, I got that,
In fact, you know something? Wouldn't that be great? Billy Mays comes on TV just before the press conference starts this afternoon, and it's a Billy Mays alert. There he is. He could peddle it with that loud, hysterical voice of his.
All right.
Get everybody panicky. Yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, I got that Showtime. Best
Yes.
thing I ever bought, man.
Really?
Yes, I cooked at least 6, 7 prime ribs on there. They come about 4 or 5 pounds. And I'll tell you what, I'll never go to Ruth Chris again.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I'll be damned.
It's orgasmic.
I think I'm going to get one.
It's orgasmic.
Okay, thanks.
Anyway, 2 more. There's a Quick and Bright. Did you ever hear that one?
Sure.
And the Steam Buggy.
The steam buggy. That sounds familiar. What is that?
That's the kind you put the water in it, and it cleans your bathrooms, cleans this, cleans that. You know, it takes all the scum
Oh,
off.
it's on our thing. We got it on there. Okay, thanks a lot.
And another one, if you get the Showtime, make sure you get the one with the 15-pound turkey, because the small one ain't worth the crap.
Okay, enjoy your meat.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks. You too. The steam buggy. Well, this is a good lunch. Thanks a lot, Ira. Atlantic City subs where Ira makes the difference in Hollywood. They're really great. And Scott did not come by. Boy, do we appreciate that. Did he make any comment? Is Scott not around?
That's the beautiful thing about Ira. He just smiles.
He just smiles and gives you the food. He has nothing to say. Nothing phases him.
Good to see
Good
you.
guy. Not a troublemaker. Not a yenta.
And
not
backs out the way he came.
Not any of that crap. You know, none of that phony. He wasn't asking for any free plugs. See, Scott didn't need to come by because we already gave him the free plugs for the Super Bowl party platters, right?
Say that 5 times.
I still can't believe that he turned around and came back in here that day. Had the chutzpah to come back in. And I gave him the plug. I mean, I'm easy, for free food.
Boy, does he have a lot of chutzpah.
Yeah, he sure does. So when you go into Atlantic City subs and Ira, he'll be the bald-headed guy with a real big smile on his face, say, boy, do you really work with that asshole Scott? Boy.
And he'll just smile.
Yeah, he'll just smile. He's used to it. What else is he going to do, He's got years of practice, I guess. 10 past 11 at 560 WQM. Here's something that will help you feel good, and that's Oleomed. Oleomed's Mediterranean formulas are advanced combinations of pharmaceutical-grade olive oil combined with all good things for your health. Vitamins, minerals, herbals, other nutrients, scientifically designed to provide natural nutrition solutions to help you support specific health needs. For example, they got 3 new formulas, one to help you sleep, one to help you control your weight, and CoQ10, which I've been taking every day for years and is so important for your heart. Oleomed's also got supplements to promote health in your circulatory system, your digestive, your endocrine system, your skin and bones, even your mind, all using the benefits of the finest, the purest olive oil you'll find anywhere. And Oleomed has the products for men and women, too. Well, I didn't want to gag on it in the middle of my Oleomed spot. Maybe I should have popped one right there, huh? Oh, look at that. Oleomed's a great new product that you can pick up all over town. Ask for it at Publix, Eckerd's, Whole Food Markets, and Walgreens. If you want to get more information about each and every one of their products, they'll be delighted to answer all your questions. Call 1-866-OLEOMED. That's 1-866-653-6633. You can also order their products online, oleomedamerica.com. And don't forget to visit their sampling pavilion at Sportstown every Sunday during dolphin season, which is only about 18-20 months away. Start feeling great today again with Oleomed.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
That's not good, it's great.
You love the band Guns N' Roses a zillion years ago.
Are you ready for me to have a temper tantrum and walk off stage?
Now, that mastermind behind the greatest career suicide in the history of mankind is not back on this 49-city non-comeback cluster. It's the Axel Rose Not Showing Up Tour. See him nowhere to be found at the arena in Cleveland. How about this powerhouse non-arrival at Madison Square Garden? Or what about this hard-driving anti-appearance at the First Union Center in Philly? If you're bored to death with performers who actually conduct themselves in a professional manner and show up at their scheduled appearances, then you'll probably want to miss the Axel Rose Not Showing Up Tour. We know he will. Call Ticket Bastard for your front row non-refundable ticket today. It's the Axel Rose Not Showing Up Tour.
11:16 at 560 WQM. I think we ought to start that on Tuesday on this show, because Monday's payday. That would be a good idea for a couple of weeks. Anyway, here's the facts it says. Here's a few more infomercials you may remember. In the early 90s or late 80s, the two clowns, one with a sickening English accent and the dork with the glasses selling car wax products that sucked. Yeah, the English accent thing is very, very big.
Or Australian.
Or Australian. Also, in case you haven't mentioned, the spray-on hair was a classic. Yes, we did. All my love, Arnold. P.S. F you, George.
Back at you,
well, at least he's thinking about you. 5670560. Orange alert. I just mentioned that in passing. We're raising from the yellow up to orange.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking how I'm supposed to adjust myself to that.
I think we're supposed to go home right now.
Duff didn't look too happy about that when you said that. He looked a little bit nervous.
We gotta secure the house.
Here's a lady in Hialeah. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, it's the lady Julio caller.
All right.
All right. I bet you don't get many of those.
Not too many.
Okay, I just wanted to make a comment about Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Okay, what I'm calling to say is basically, it comes down to this. People with millions of dollars get away with anything they want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can get away with murder like OJ, you can sleep with little boys, you can hang children off your balcony, close stores in Vegas to shop. You can do whatever you want and on TV, and you're above the law.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get arrested. It's the American effing way, baby.
And here we got people like George making excuses for
no matter
Michael
how many
Jackson.
times you say it, it's not going to make it true.
Did.
Yeah, but now a poor schlepper like you or me, we do this, and we're in jail in, in 2 weeks.
Who's a poor schlepper?
Me.
No, I'm not in that category, though. You're talking about people that are like multimillionaires, independently wealthy.
Exactly. And I love you, Neil. That's all I have to say for today.
Thanks.
Okay, take care.
See you under the bed. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice Julio lady in Hialeah. Boy, that's rare on this show. Even ladies on this show are rare anymore. After George chased them all away in the summertime. 5670560. That's why when people like Carlos and Miguel, oh, George gets all these women calling, and he's got so many more women. And then the book comes out, George didn't have any women. Remember that? They don't want to admit. I mean, they're embarrassed enough admitting they listen to me. And maybe you do have a lot more women as possible, but they sure don't want to be telling anybody about that.
Right.
I'm not so sure why, but it's not socially... Ooh, look at that. Oh, I just spit out a piece of sandwich right on the board.
And then he ate it.
I'm sure. Oh. What's your favorite TV infomercial? I hate all infomercials, 140. Over 40% of the audience hates it. Of course, they hate almost anything anyway, so at least they're consistent, right? I forgot about that.
Right.
They hate. They just hate. Girls Gone Wild video, 72. They like those a lot. Ron Popeil, Showtime Rotisserie Barbecue, 17. That's kind of weak, Ron, you know it? I mean, if we could goose up a few more votes, maybe Ron would send us each one of the ones. Not the crappy little ones, one of the big ones, where we can put the whole turkey in there. I can think of a few turkeys I'd like to roast in there. Some of them work here. Ron Popeil, Pocket Fisherman, 14. How about the stuff, was it STP? Or was that just in the story about STP?
STP is just a product.
But it was like that. You know who would know? Joe Costello would know, because he's the car racing. I think Mario Andretti or one of those hot shots endorsed it. Yeah. Oh, well, me, I'm in the business, and I would never endorse it. It wasn't him, but it was somebody like that. And you're supposed to, pour it in your crankcase, and it's going to protect your engine for like the next 50 billion miles. Crap like that.
It's familiar. I don't remember the name of it.
Those were old. I mean, those were ancient.
Right.
Also, a lot of the British ones, with the British guys on there. Very ancient. In fact, there's that one pasty-looking Brit. Or is he Australian? Because you said that. Kind of like a round...
This is your bag, not mine.
Oh, man. You know the one I'm talking about. He's on a lot of them even now. Kind of short, round, British, real heavy
Richard
accent.
Petty? No,
Richard Petty is short, rounded, British? Well, you sure don't know your auto racing, mister, and you better start learning about it. What's wrong with you?
Sure, that was Miguel's response to the crankcase.
Oh, it could have been. To the crankcase? 5670560. Yeah, he's a crankcase, all right. Yeah, maybe you can elope with Mr. Ego, Gilbert. Maybe since he's so big on getting all these phony body ports, he can get you a new head and a new brain. That would be good, for starters. Or I should say, a brain. I don't want to say a new brain. Here's a call from Davey. Hello. Davey.
Oh, Neil, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Listen, I don't know if anybody called in, but the Steve Garvey product he used to pitch was called Fat Trapper Plus.
Right.
Oh, okay. I was nervous.
Fat Trapper Plus. It's a damn good thing they trapped them.
Yeah, I was nervous because of the orange alert. I had to run home.
Okay.
Anyway, my 3 all-time favorites. DD7, the Soba Pillow, and the Tom Vu financial money-making seminar.
Oh, yeah, good one. Now, what's the pillow one? What do they call that?
The Sovacal pillow, it was this doctor who was on there, and this pillow was, like, filled with, like, it looked like grape nut cereal.
Mm. Oh, the buckwheat pillow.
You were supposed to be able to sleep on it for, like, 80 hours straight.
Right.
And, you know, they'd have the people would lay on it and be like, oh, I slept for 3 days, and then the audience, oh, fantastic. It was good stuff.
I'm going to get one now so I can hang out under the bed with my grape nuts.
Absolutely. And
Thanks.
in closing, Matt Cullen, fantastic upside.
Okay,
Later,
see you.
Neil.
Bye. Matt Cullen, fantastic upside. Let's hear it. They won a game. Everybody's back on the bandwagon again. 6-0 lost to the Leafs on Wednesday. By the way, how about those Leafs beating Tampa in overtime last night, 3-2? They're on fire, baby. Nick Andropov. I told you that kid was a hell of a player, didn't I, George? What do you know? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. I just had another one. I forgot who the hell it was. There's so many of them. So many.
We got the guy on line 2 has that STP thing.
Oh, yeah.
Information for us.
Here's Redlands. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good.
There was Andy Granatelli.
Right.
And he had a...
See, I knew I just had the wrong Italian guy.
Yeah, he always wore a trench coat.
What does that tell you?
Go figure. But it was STP, all right.
Oh, what was it? It was STP?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
See, I told you it was STP. Oh, no, that wasn't it, George. See, again, first he tells me Michael Jackson is not a pedophile. He feels sorry for him. It's his bad upbringing. Daddy was a prick. And then he tells me,
it's Litivigo. And
then he tells me STP was like you bought in the store. But you did buy STP.
STP is a product that you buy in the store.
I understand that, but it was also originally on the TV infomercials. Well, so then what are you opening a big mouth for? Let Carlos tell her. Well, of course, he's busy eating. I don't want to hear him.
Are you sure?
What?
Are you sure you don't want to hear me?
Positive.
But
Are you sure? Very sure. You don't even know who the British guy is I'm talking about. He always wears the apron, the red apron, and he's like a short, round, typical pasty Brit with a real heavy accent. And he's always selling knives or cookware or crap, you know? 56705
Slick 50.
Slick 50, that was it. That's the stuff you pour in your crankcase. And then your engine, it's like piece by piece it falls
Someone
apart.
called to say it was not STP, it was Slick 50.
Told you. 5670560, pound 560. You said it was Mario Andretti.
I said Michael Jackson's
You
a good
said it
guy.
was Mario Lemieux. Hey, Mario, calm down a little bit, okay? I read about your exploits. I didn't see that game. I was busy losing my money. Hey, Mickey McNichol over there, Pompano Park, my good old paisan. Got a message for you today, Mickey. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Maybe it was Duralube. Remember Duralube?
That was another one.
And CD, there's another one. I think Bobby or Al Unser was advertising.
Right, that's right.
I never thought STP was on TV though. I have a. How about the blonde butch bitch, Susan Powder?
Oh, Susan Powder. That's right.
The insanity.
Exactly.
And then you can fix your own car with your Ding Master. Ding Master.
Right. We got that one.
And then Video Professor. Learn how to
Oh, the Video Professor. You're going to learn how to speak Greek. You're going to be Greek in about 3 minutes, right?
Do they have these infomercials in Amsterdam and Toronto too?
Oh, sure. Are you kidding me? They have them on overnight. When you start flipping channels in Amsterdam late at night, you get one of two things: either naked boobs, either porno movies, or you get the infomercials.
Hey,
and let me tell you one other thing. In the form of infomercials, they have the 800 numbers with the hot babes on there, and they're naked, and they're on there, and there's the 800 number. Hi, I'm Linda, blah, blah, and there they are.
I know you probably don't speak real fluent. Is it Dutch or what's
Dutch? Yeah, about 4 words.
Well, is there talk chat shows or talk shows like yours overseas in Amsterdam or?
No, are you kidding me? They would love me there. I'm serious. I have a 90 share.
Let me ask you one other question too. Who decides like you cut the callers off when you're ready to get rid of me? You're going to cut me off. What about like Mo or Mad Dog? Do the producers do it or who does it?
No, what do you mean? The producers better not be doing it. If a producer cuts somebody off, we blow their brains out.
It always seems like you're ready to have a rebuttal to the question. You're gone.
Just like that. Fine. Now look, that was done with love. He knows that I was going to do that. It was just for fun because he kept saying that, you know. Or was he talking about them? I don't know and I don't care. It was just funny. He just made. Thank you, sir. Excellent call. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon Wireless line. Why should the audience have free speech? We don't have it anymore.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Today's show is brought to you by the makers of Tiger Kitty, the cat food with the taste of real human flesh. Tiger Kitty, don't ask how we make it. And now, back to our show.
Warning, we have mercilessly taken the following material out of context without endorsement or permission from those depicted. It is our ongoing mission to make everything that is good and decent look as ridiculous as possible. We hope we've reached that goal, or at least made you laugh.
Girls Gone Wild. Wild, wild, wild. In South Central L.A. You've seen them in Cancun, Daytona Beach, and all over spring break.
Excellent!
Now the Girls Gone Wild affirmative action team is taking it to the inner city. It's Girls Gone Wild. Wild, wild, wild. In South Central L.A. Girls out there taking off their pants, taking off their shirts, taking off everything, having kids when they shouldn't be, smoking crack, not reading, acting a straight damn fool.
Yeah, you're right. Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
We don't know why exactly. Maybe it's the weather, maybe it's the high rate of street crime, traffic, smog, poverty, crack. Either way, these kids have gone completely f***ing bonkers in South Central L.A. Girls Gone Wild. Wild, wild, wild. And what do you think's gonna happen when Snoop Dogg's unleashed behind the camera? Dang, dang. Did I mention they went wild? Call now.
They went wild. Too bad George and Carlos didn't hear that. 11:31 at 560. Girls Gone Wild.
I heard it before.
How did you hear that before? Is that an old bit that they recycled this week?
Is it a new bit?
Anyway, here's a fax that says, what about that schmuck who sells the book where you can get money for free from the government to open various businesses? The guy wearing a suit with the dollar signs on it. What is his name?
Matthew Lesko.
There you go. He's screaming and whining. What's that puss's name? There you go, Matthew. Let's go. Let's go.
And we have a bit about him, too.
Called?
I don't know, Matthew Lesko.
It is?
I don't know.
We got, we don't have that. We got Matty Lechem. 146 people say they hate all infomercials. We're trying to find your favorite. Girls Gone Wild video, 77.
Oh!
Ron Popeil Showtime Rotisserie Barbecue, 19. The Ron Popeil Pocket Fisherman, 15. I thought Ronco was named after Ron Popeil.
So did I. Maybe he's a junior. Who knows?
Nah. Thigh Master, Suzanne Summers' Blue Thigh Thing, 10. George Foreman, Lean Mean Grillin' Machine, 9. Never saw one, still 7. I don't know. Out of 358, only 7. It's been stuck on 7. I don't believe there's anybody who never saw an infomercial.
Maybe they don't have TV.
I think even in the jungles of Caracas.
Maybe they're Amish.
I think even in the jungles of Bangladesh, they've seen infomercials. At least they've seen Janet Paul Crotch. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. A call from New York. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes.
How about Chia Pet?
Chia Pet's excellent.
Is it an infomercial?
There was never. No, I think you're right. I think it was only a spot.
Well, okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Crushed.
Well, I mentioned one before, and then we said, was that really ever an infomercial? No, it was just a spot. The clapper. I didn't mention it. Somebody faxed in the clapper. Like that. Somebody's got the old clap. Oh, here's the New England Paul, who always sends his faxes and they give away a sideway for some strange. Notice that? Saw the show with Michael Jackson last night. He makes aliens look good. You can tell me this man is a man, and I think it iffy at best. The last question he answered was if there were no more children in the world, he would kill himself. Yes, I heard that. By the way, the show has never been better. Thank you, New England Paul. Always liked you a lot. You're right. We really picked it up here. In spite of what George is trying to do to sabotage the show.
What?
To get me to do all bedtime stories.
Oh.
A really funny infomercial was the one about Master TSI. Self-defense course, pronounced Psy. The host was Danny Bone, a douchebag. This martial arts expert would show you how to defend yourself against muggers and rapists. The funny part was when he demonstrated the eagle claw hold on Danny, he flipped that douchebag like a pancake. Excellent. You saw that? He's seen them all.
That's his thing.
He's got one of those little, like you once gave me, that little battery-operated TV under the overpass.
Right.
That's all he can do is watch infomercials.
But we finally hit on it, because, he doesn't like chocolate.
But I will say this, he's one of the few guys who lives under an overpass that's got the cable.
Well, the rope wore out.
Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Neil, I saw the Michael Jackson interview last night. It was very disturbing that this man has kids, and then I kept watching after when the news came on. They had some psychiatrist two of them that were watching the interview, and they both said it was very disturbing. One lady said that they got to remove the kids away from him now.
Immediately, if not sooner.
But there's one thing that I saw during the interview that I kind of agree with him. It's when they were in the limousine. I don't know if you saw it. They were in the limousine driving to Michael Jackson's store, the one that he buys all that crap, spends a lot of money in. The guy Brashear, the guy who was doing the interview, asked him how much is he worth, and he kind of shied back, and he said, I don't really want to talk about it. He's like,
Loan me $50.
He kind of said again, he goes, come on, tell me what you're worth. He goes, $1 billion, right? But then Michael Jackson felt very uncomfortable. He changed the subject, and you know what he asked him? He goes, don't you think Jay Fiedler's a sorry-ass quarterback?
5670560, pound 560. Now, let me ask you this question, okay? Let me ask you this. They've been putting this on there for about the last 45 minutes or so. Terror threat to be raised to orange today. Now, they're going to win out. Oh, let's see, to speak at 12:30. I thought it was 1 o'clock first. To speak at 12:30. Well, we'll maybe listen on a little bit of that. That'll kill some good time. But, in other words, are we supposed to have a good time now? That's why we're having so much fun now. Because starting at 12:30 or 1, whenever they tell us, that's when they're going to raise it. You see what I'm saying?
Nothing's going to happen before then.
I beg your pardon?
There's not going to be a terrorist attack before they raise the alert.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
So in other words, until they officially tell us, they're just preparing us for it. Okay, they're getting us ready for it,
which is why.
And then we can increase our alert level.
We should use this time
our
to get
PAL,
home,
our personal alert level.
Secure our loved ones.
Isn't
and
that your
property.
PAL, your personal alert level? Pally?
Personal ass
level.
Lurker.
So there you go. They're going to be announcing terror threat level to be raised to orange today. We don't want anybody to get nervous or panic. We've been through this before. And the fact that the rest of the world is getting a little bit nervous about us and North Korea, don't get all excited, okay, because it won't do any good. Just have a good time and hope for the best. And hope real hard. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Neil, on Michael Jackson, do you think that he passed on that skin disease to those kids?
They're not his kids in the first place.
Well, because that was my question really, is how many chromosomes of Michael Jackson's do those kids have? I can't...
None.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you, Neil, I want to try to get one of those T-shirts with Bush with the nose, with the clown nose. Do you know where I could get one?
No. Bush with a clown nose?
Yeah.
We'll find out. Somebody will call.
That guy that talk show whose name rhymes with feces was outraged that those things even existed, and when we brought him up, I wanted to see if I could locate one.
We'll find it for you.
All right. And listen, finally.
Yes.
Colin Powell convinced me that we need a regime change, but here in the States. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Very good line.
Yeah, excellent line.
Gilbert just called, by the way.
And said, really?
Her.
Did he really?
He really did.
I'll be damned. Gilbert.
That's Gilbert Solomon, by the way.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. Now we're talking about regime change. No, we aren't talking about that anymore. I'm sorry. We're talking about weapons of mass destruction. See, they couldn't decide from one day to the next which it was. First it was regime change, and then it became weapons of mass destruction.
Are you asking questions?
No, not me. Not anymore. Not since they're changing the threat level. The hell's wrong with you, man? Now, what are these T-shirts? They got Bush with a what nose? A clown nose? I'd like the Alfred E. Newman one with the big ears myself, although I guess we can just look at the screen and see that.
I want the Hitler version myself.
There you go. See, there's George again, going way, way, way off the deep end. I thought you were in a good mood today. I thought you were feeling good. We fed you. We fed you.
Happy
You're
mood,
just going too far with that, okay? Just because we do goose step a little bit in here.
He's the
just
new
because
Hitler.
you painted those pictures again. There's George making all those comments, okay? 5670560 pound. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be Mr. Nice Guy. Just get along with everybody. I just want to fumble my way through these last 4 years. Get that big paycheck. Put it in the bank. That's all. Enjoy my life as best I can until they drop La Bamba. Una Bamba Grande. Here's a lady in Fort Myers. Hello.
Hi, how are you, Neil?
Great.
How about Billy Blanks, the Tybo guy?
Who?
You know, the Tybo infomercial?
Oh, yeah, we got it.
Oh, you guys have that on there? Okay.
That's okay.
Well, Michael Jackson is a wackadoo.
Okay.
And if my parents made me wear a mask every day of my life, I'd probably grow up and want to look just like Michael Jackson. So
Or maybe you could send him and the kids to Afghanistan.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing to his kids that his dad did to him. It's just perpetuating the abuse.
In fact, you know something? Maybe when we invade the Baghdad, we can drop him over.
You know, I think that they deserve him. He definitely fit in there.
Match made in purgatory. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Here you go. Here you go, Sodom. Here's one for you. It's Michael Motorcycle. They take one look at him. I think that would give them what for, you know? Give them pause, as the saying goes. 20 till noon at 5:60 WQM. Time for us to pause and tell you about Pompano Park, where we got some big doings going on. This Saturday night, tomorrow, Pompano Park will be hosting the opening round of the $250,000 Isle of Capri Pacing Series. Top horses from all over North America will be competing in the 3-week-long series. Hall of Fame driver Dave McGee, the 5th winningest driver in the history of the sport with nearly 10,000 wins, will go against Pompano's best Brian Sears, Bruce Ranger, and Wally Hennessy. Isle of Capri favorites include $933,000 win in Peruvian Hanover, and from Australia, the Aussie fighter going for his 4th straight win. He is a monster. Also Saturday, there'll be free prize drawings to win one of 6 vacation trips for 2 to the Crystal Palace in Nassau in the Bahamas. And don't forget, Pompano Park is now open for your plunging and winning and losing enjoyment 5 nights a week for live racing. Every Friday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Like last night, we had a wonderful time. Lost our ass. Post time 7:15 p.m. Both admission and parking free. Every Monday night at Pompano Park, 2 for $25 full course dinner specials at the lavish Top of the Park restaurant on the 6th floor. Every Wednesday is Dollar Night at Pompano Park, dollars for a draft beer, hot dogs, sodas, and more. And every Thursday is Ladies Night with 2 for 1 drink specials and free bingo for ladies with $1,000 in cash and prizes. And for Valentine's Day, February 14, a free bottle of champagne for each couple dining at the Top of the Park restaurant, romantic dinner music, and a free rose for the women in attendance, free miniature horse rides for kids, too. That's next Friday, February 14. Pompano Park, a block of Atlantic Boulevard and Powerline Road. Don't forget live racing tonight. Big card tonight and tomorrow, 7:15 at Pompano Park.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Friday, you bastards.
560 WQAM presents the Mo and Joe Show. Ratings tanked bad with our last failure, so we're going to try this now. At least we're consistent. To get in touch with Mo and Joe, just, what's the point?
This is Howard the David. Welcome back to the Mo and Joe Show. So, what do you know, Joe?
Well, it's nice to be here.
You don't mind this 18-hour shift, huh, kid?
Oh, no, not at all.
You getting paid extra for this?
Well, they said they're gonna...
You know what your problem is, kid?
What?
You're stupid.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You're stupid. Just like that guava-loving spick, your buddy over there.
Hey, come on. This isn't... I mean, we didn't even get started yet.
Shut up. You want to work my show? You'll do as you're told.
Okay.
Now get over here.
Where? Over here?
Yeah, that's right.
Here?
Now come here.
Okay.
Now get over there.
All right.
Come here.
Okay.
Get over there.
All right. Yes, sir.
Now get over here.
Okay.
Now come here.
I'm over here.
Not there.
Oh.
Over here.
Oh, sorry.
Now get over there. Now come here.
I'm coming over.
Okay. Now look, we got a break coming up, so why don't you go outside and wait for it to snow, huh?
Now just a minute.
Yep.
I don't have to...
Yep.
Okay.
I said go wait for it to snow.
Okay.
Oh, and while you're at it,
yeah.
Get the QAM van ready for my appearance at the Hollywood Fashion Center.
Hey, look, I can't...
Don't worry, kid. It's an automatic. Now, answer Gray.
Okay.
No, not K. It's that'll be very good, sir.
Okay.
It's 14 till noon at 560 WQM. We got Mad Dog at 1. Hank is doing a show at that Royal Caribbean Geriatric Golf Tournament again. By the way, speaking of that, is there something wrong with the humper that I don't know about? Did you hear him yesterday?
No.
Sounded like he was losing his voice. Has he got laryngitis or something?
Maybe he had a mouthful of food.
No. He mentioned it. He said, I can talk for about 2 hours and I'd like run out of gas. And he was like gasping and coughing and gasping for oxygen.
You think he might be ailing?
I don't know. That I'm concerned about it. I'm not making light of it. I just would like to know what the hell the story is. Anyway, the humper will be along from the Royal Caribbean. Maybe the fact that he's surrounded by so many old farts playing golf out there, that might have something to do with it. Then we got, at 7 o'clock, UM Baseball, the Hurricanes versus Campbell. Now, I don't have any idea what that is. Is that like Luther Campbell? Is it Glenn Campbell? Is it Campbell Soup? What is that? Campbell what? And then Eddie K from GA after the baseball game, ESPN radio overnight, because we got no Mo in the morning. Although we do have Joe. We don't have Mo, but we got Joe in the morning because it's Saturday. Now somebody does this off the internet, which is no fun, but nevertheless, they made a list of infomercials. There are some of them on here that are pretty interesting, like the perfect pancake. How about the omelet maker? I don't know what they call it. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a pan, a two-sided. It's like the that sandwich thing.
That's the perfect pancake I think they're talking about.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The perfect pancake, which also makes...
Carlos says it is not an infomercial, and he ought to know.
It's not. Okay, sorry. But it is on the list of infomercials on here, on the Internet. So Carlos knows more than on the Internet. www.firstInfomercials.com.
Carlos says that's the as seen on TV list, which is different.
I see. On TV. Video professor, walk away the pounds. The roller hose. Oh, I think Geldy has got one of those. Ionic Breeze Quadra. Well, anyways, there's some on there, which I never heard most of them. Oh, and Rich Pachter sends me this, which is very important, looking for a free plug for his kids. Why not? Third Nostril, featuring Ray Parker, who is one of his, Ray Pachter, one of his sons, and Decasyntax, featuring Ben Parker, his other son. With all these bands, Pompano Indoor Skate Park, 2171 Blount Road in Pompano, 7 p.m. on what day? What day? Oh, Friday, February 7th. That's tonight.
There's an indoor skate park in Pompano?
The Pompano Indoor Skate Park, 2171 Blount Road in Pompano, 6:30 p.m. Third Nostril opens. Ooh. And Decasyntax, a fragile line, I don't understand. Anyway, featuring Ben and Ray Pachter, Rich's sons. If you want more information, call 954-979-7966. 979-7966. There you go. No extra charge, Rich. He's always been very nice to us. And did something very important on one of our music surveys one time, but I forget what it was. It was something marginal. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Don't get nervous, but...
Yesterday afternoon from the State Department, this was updating a worldwide caution that had been issued only 2 months ago. What was different about this one is that it is not only talking about so-called conventional attacks, the risk of suicide bombings, of using some sort of explosive devices, but also now the risk of unconventional attacks, chemical and biological agents. This is something that the State Department has never warned Americans about directly. And I'm told that the reason why they're adding this now and why they decided to update the worldwide caution was due to those series of arrests that we've been watching and that Sheila McVicker and other CNN correspondents have been reporting on in recent weeks in Europe in particular. A number of people arrested in Great Britain connected to ricin, potential ricin attacks. And as far as other potential threats, I'm told Americans need to be alert as well about the possibility of assassination attempts, of kidnappings, and as to where, there is no specific region. They're told to be alert all around the world, Carol. They're told in particular to be vigilant in their places of worship, in schools, in clubs that they may attend, and that if at all possible, they should try to congregate where Americans don't usually go. So it isn't very
strip club.
Obviously, there isn't a lot of
swinger bar
that the U.S. government can offer Americans overseas other than to be on alert. And they do actually say that you should keep your personal documents on hand. And by that, they mean your U.S. passport, bank records, your birth certificate, your marriage certificate. You should keep copies as well. And just be prepared for the possibility of some sort of a terrorist attack. And obviously, Carol, they're saying that this is not directly related to Iraq, but rather to different threats in different places all around.
Right, no, that's just a coincidence. All the stuff this week, it's just a coincidence. Not directly related. In fact, it's kind of related to Iraq the same way that Saddam Hussein is related to al-Qaeda. Very loosely. Okay, let's get back to fun and games. Okay, 12:30 we'll put that thing on with Tom Ridge and John Ashcroft, and then we'll make a run for it while you people are listening.
The border, right?
Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I think you covered most of them, but wasn't Girls Gone Wild just a spot, not a full infomercial?
No, full infomercial, man. You missed the good stuff.
Really? Remember Leslie Uggams used to do that full infomercial for the psychics before Miss Cleo.
Right.
Also, Richard Simmons. No one said that.
Sure we did.
Oh, you did?
We did Deal a Meal and Sweating to the Oldies.
The race car driver that does it now is A.J. Foyt, the Z-Max.
Z-Max, we got that.
But one of your sponsors, Dr. Shapiro,
Yeah.
he has the woman in the lingerie on the couch.
Oh, he's on there too?
Yeah, saying, you know, if you have a full head of hair and all, he has someone over there on the lingerie. But the best infomercial was last night, really, was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't know what's going on.
And it seems to be working real well, by the way. They're buying his albums like Halava and Tel Aviv.
I was going to say, his record sales are way up. So
You got it.
There you go.
Suckerborn every minute. Have a great weekend, sir. And hide under the couch, behind the TV, right next to your Ron Popeil Vegematic. I mean, that was what she was just babbling there. Was like, keep your documents handy and, you know.
Make sure your insurance is paid up.
Now, is that our birth certificate we're supposed to keep or our death certificate? I'm not really sure what, based on the way she was babbling there.
Your dental records?
Good thing they don't want to get anybody hysterical. You know what I'm saying? That's good. I'm glad everybody keep calm, cool, like we are. Let's get out of here. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, do you have the L. Ron Hubbard infomercial?
Oh, Dianetics, diabetic diuretics.
Yeah,
Dianetics.
I used to be on. I remember watching that really late at night. They would sell you this kit. It had his book and his
Right.
writings and all this other stuff.
Pieces of his body were in there, too, I think.
And do you have the Cher infomercial with the fat woman? Does anybody remember that? They used to sell cosmetics, Cher and the fat pig.
Not really, no.
Oh, it was fantastic. And Neil, what did I ever do to you? I'm your only fan up here.
Who the hell was that? Who was that? And he hangs up. I don't know. That must be the Chronic guy from New York. Is that who that was?
No idea.
We haven't got a clue, nor do we care less. Why can't you just say your material without going through some kind of paranoid and making yourself look like some kind of a schmuck, and the audience is saying, aha, there's another one of those Chronics. Last time he called, he said the same thing. Remember that? And we still don't know who the hell you are or what that's all about. And didn't I talk to him? Didn't I listen to his crap? Didn't he have something almost worthwhile to say? So what's the problem? What did I ever do to you? Putz. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Miami, hello. Miami.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Neil? Yeah, I always wanted to say something about Michael Jackson. That, you know, I watched a little bit of that show. Who could watch it for 2 hours? I don't know.
It was on for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And listen, you know, I kept flicking back over to hear little pieces and bits of it. But the one thing I never heard anybody ask him is, you know, he says that he's the biological father of these kids.
Sure.
And, you know, I'm not racist or anything, but genetically, you know, it looks like that's an impossibility if you look at the kids.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you know...
Well, I thought, did they actually show the faces of the kids?
No, but
you see their
you can see
skin,
blonde
their
hair,
veins,
blue eyes.
Well, maybe they're like half and half.
Ain't no way, Neil. There's not a trace.
No, I agree with that. I don't think I don't think they got like one chromosome, no.
Right, well,
but they
you know
asked
what,
them.
the point I'm trying to make is...
What is it?
Is that, you know, people are talking about, you know, him being abusive to children, which I probably agree with. I mean,
yes.
If anybody sleeps with little boys like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what the deal is, you know, are these kids adopted? They're talking about investigating, taking these kids away from them or whatever. You know, are they legally adopted or are they his biological? Is he the
They're
biological parent?
supposed to be his children. He supposedly was the sperm
Well,
donor.
that's what he says, but
Right.
wouldn't the authorities know
I
that?
think we need a DNA test, sir. That's an excellent idea. Let's do it right now. Let's get Sherlock Holmes on the case right now. A DNA test.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAQAM.
Yeah.
Well, it be the 12 to 1 hour on WQAM.
Ladies, are you tired of unwanted hands creeping into your panties? Unwanted hands creeping where they shouldn't be?
Uh-huh.
Then you need Vajomatic.
Vajomatic?
Yeah, it's the first feminine protection that really helps.
Oh, Ron, yes, that feels good.
Oh, baby, let's do it. Yeah, work it, sugar.
No, wait.
Come on, kitten.
No.
But I bought you dinner. Let me just unzip it. You see, Vajomatic is fantastic. It really works. It's good against muggers, rapists, drunk husbands, priests, horny uncles, and Martina Navratilova.
Let me just set this on puree.
Vajomatic. And coming soon for the fellas, it's Cockatool.
Fantastic.
12 o'clock at 560 WQM. That's not even the one that I thought I was playing. I thought it was the Bob and Tom one.
Right.
Which isn't in there. Well, it'll have to do. The best place to find anti-Bush material on the internet is www.smirkingchimp.com. For the guy that called before.
It's in there.
What?
Vegomatic. The Bob and Tom one.
Right it is? But I bet you it's called Veg...
No, it's right under it. You just need to go down one more.
It is? One moment, please.
This is important.
It's not important at all, which I wish...
Very important.
Oh, there it is, Bob and Tom. SmirkingChimp.com. My favorite t-shirt is the Impeach Bush and Cheney tour. Okay? But here's the important stuff. Before we get back to all this hysteria that some people are promulgating here today. As far as I know, this is the first time the complete story of the Popeil Ronco products has been told. Somebody got me this from the internet. Says Tim Samuelson, curator of the upcoming But Wait, There's More exhibit at Napa's American Center for Wine, Food and Arts, author of the just-released book of the same name. Basically, it goes from a table out on the street to national television. Most people don't realize the complexity of the story, how the product, the people, and the salesmen are all tied together. The Popeil family combined vaudevillian showmanship with ingenious product design, beginning with modest items such as the glass knife, it's always sharp, and leading up to Ronco's Showtime Rotisserie and Barbecue, which you've very likely seen expertly demonstrated on QVC by its creator Ron Popeil. Ron Popeil is the Ron in Ronco. See, we're right about that.
Right.
But his father, Samuel S.J. Popeil, and his uncle Raymond Popeil were the Omatic men, as in Vegomatic. The family dynasty grew literally on the streets of Chicago, says Samuelson, by people in the Popeil family selling goods in outdoor markets, county fairs, and auto shows. Salesmen manned the tables, and through mesmerizing gestures and motions gathered people around them. They were all little products that were designed so a pitchman could take a suitcase full of them, haul them to the side, and sell them. The products got larger and more complicated. They were more saleable on TV and given flashy names, and the most famous being the Vegomatic. In the process, their products and members of the Popeil family became international popular culture heroes. Popeil family history is sensationalistic and preposterous enough to be the makings of an epic novel. An unwritten missioner salesman. This is very poorly written. Nathan Morris, well, that's because you don't know where the punctuation is. Nathan Morris, S.J.'s uncle, sold kitchen gadgets on the Jersey boardwalks. In 1958, S.J. Popeil sued him for patent infringement. Popeil believed that Morris's roto-chop, I remember that. Remember it used to turn, it had the little plunger on top, it was a plastic thing, you put your stuff, it would turn. The roto-chop too closely resembles his own chop-o-matic. Morris was upset with his nephew, feeling him ungrateful for the break in gadget sales in the courtroom. Morris suffered a sudden heart attack, and a guilt-riddled S.J. settled the case, only to have his uncle miraculously recover the very next day. S.J. Popeil likewise got his son Ron Popeil started in the business, then cast him out of the family when Ron began Ronco. But it was Ron who came to outshine them all. He's the one with the autobiography, The Salesman of the Century, and you can buy it straight from Ronco if you like. Ronco's television spots honed to fast-talking perfection, adapted classic pitchman techniques such as the countdown, which you can still witness in Ron Popeil's QVC spots hawking the Showtime Rotisserie. You're not going to pay $325 for this product. You're not even going to pay $220, says, then counts down to 4 easy payments of $39.95. And of course, there's always the bonus product. But wait, there's more. The promotion on television seemed absolutely irresistible, says Samuelson. In case of the Vegomatic, 11 million of them were sold within 10 years of their introduction in 1951. I turn up examples of them all the time, and they always still work. I think the very nature of the fame of the Popeil family and their products is everybody or their parents or relatives has some Popeil-related product tucked away in their closet. That's the operative part. Not using it, but it's tucked away in a closet. Amen. Getting pretty crowded in there. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
You ever hear the product NADS?
What is it?
Commercial? NADS.
We talked about it early in the
you
show.
talked about it?
NADS.
Oh, NADS, yeah.
Yeah, you know, the name is just too much. I don't know who came up with that one. You know, put a little NADS on you, take unsightly hair off.
Yeah.
You know, on your upper lip. You know, for women, it's just crazy. That's the best
Ooh, frosty NADS.
Okay, thanks. 567-0560, pound 560. We're asking, what's your favorite tea infomercial? 175 people, almost 41% of this crowd, hate all infomercials. They want to puke when they see one. They want to vomit. Girls Gone Wild videos, 91. Ron Popeil Showtime Rotisserie Barbecue, 23. The Ron Popeil Pocket Fisherman, 15. A lot of guys reaching in their pocket fishing for it right now. The Thigh Master, Suzanne Summers Blue Thigh Thing, 12. George Foreman Grill, the Lean Mean Grilling Machine, 11. And 9 people never saw one. And it's single digits from down on there. Well, there's so many of them, you know.
of Homeland Security to the Attorney General, and based on that information, we understand recommendation was made to the President. He didn't disagree, so we do expect that announcement at 12:30.
David, is it coincidental or not coincidental that this is happening perhaps on the eve of a U.S. war against Iraq?
You know, I've talked to officials a lot about whether they think there is the possibility of terrorism stimulated by the Mukhbarat, the Iraqi intelligence service, whether the Iraqis, perhaps in cahoots with terrorist groups, might organize something. The response I tend to get is officials saying, look, the Iraqi intelligence service is not all that terrific. It is fairly well watched. It's not something we worry a lot about. Sure, we watch them, but we're not really expecting it to come from that quarter. And frankly, a number of officials saying they believe that al-Qaeda would attack the U.S. anytime it could, without regard to any war in Iraq or, frankly, many other factors.
But it sure does make a good excuse, don't it? Well, here's Mike the Mold Man, who doesn't even look for a free plug today. Isn't that nice? He says, I have the rotisserie machine. It works great and always comes out juicy. I have the original machine, $175 years ago. I saw a little bit of Michael last night. Had to run to the Cannon Schmidt and puke. That guy is a freak. Kids aren't his. Okay, very good, Mike.
Kids aren't his.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yeah, how about Ty Bo?
Got it.
Okay. And I'm crazy.
How about Bo Griffin? Tell us something we don't know. Biloxi, Mississippi?
Yeah, hey, Neil, good morning.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I was down in the Cuban Republic. I had to come up and take care of my parents. They're both sick, so I'm up in the redneck.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's all right. I do have something to tell you. I went to New Orleans and ate at the original Ruth Chris Steakhouse. What a place.
Yeah.
The best food in the world. Anyway, the infomercial you was talking about, the Ginsu's got to be one of the best products ever, right?
Right.
That's what I think. But anyway, I'm hearing you on the internet, and keep it up, buddy.
Okay, and you too. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Hurry on back if you like, or and if not. 567. Well, maybe you don't want to come back down here. In fact, a lot of people right now are planning trips to like Geneva, New York, Grand Rapids, Michigan,
under their bed,
Muskegon, DeKalb, Howe, Indiana. What's wrong with these?
Nothing.
I'm talking about places, Attleboro, Massachusetts, places where they're not going to be like
Jefferson,
invading.
North Carolina.
That would be good. Inuvik.
In my what?
Inuvik. It's like way up in Canada. So
I see.
Way up there.
Moose Jaw.
Moose Jaw would be good. Medicine Hat. Iron.
Right next to it.
Iron City. All of these things sound good. 8 minutes after noon at 560 WQM. If you're wondering, if you tune in midstream, we don't want to get you nervous, but and neither does your government, of course. They don't want you to get all panicky. They don't want to ruin your weekend. But the terror threat will be raised to orange today, level to high. A lot of people are going to be getting high today based on what they're saying. And Tom Ridge and John Ashcroft, and who could have two better spokesmen than those two, will be coming on at 12:30. And we'll hear a little bit of it from CNN until we can't take it anymore, right? Or until we have to take a break. Isn't that what comes first?
We could do all the breaks in the first half hour and then just leave.
Oh.
Leave the pot on.
See, there George goes again. Okay, his behavior today, I think, has probably reached an all-time low, and Carlos agrees. You have been just outrageous today. Starting out defending a pedophile.
I didn't.
And making excuses for him, and then calling the president, painting that little mustache on him, and now trying to bail out of here early. We've only got 50 minutes and 35 seconds to go, not that I'm counting.
50
not
minutes.
That I'm counting. You know, guys, what women really want at Valentine's Day is for you to put a little thought and creativity into your gift. This year, express yourself in a fun and original way and say it with a Vermont teddy bear. Just call 1-800-829-BEAR and a friendly bear counselor will help you choose from over 100 bears. They're all handcrafted in Vermont and delivered in a colorful gift box with a free card and chocolate, too. That'd be another good place to hide in Vermont. And you can always get a lot of Ben & Jerry's there, too. Tell her she lights your fire with a new Burnin' Love Bear, dressed like a hunky fireman with a love tattoo on his arm, or say I'm wild about you with a Jungle Love Bear. They even have an officially licensed Love Me Tender Elvis Bear. Sending a Vermont teddy bear is a creative and personal alternative to flowers, and will be around long after Valentine's Day to remind her of you. Send a bear to the office so her coworkers can see how thoughtful and romantic you're pretending to be. Overnight, expedited Valentine's Day delivery guaranteed. So call 1-800-829-BEAR or shop online at VermontTeddyBear.com. This year do something different, something creative, something she'll appreciate for a long time. Say it all with the Vermont Teddy Bear for Valentine's Day. Tell them that old Neil told you to call 1-800-829-BEAR.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Friday, you bastards.
A new study by the Kinsey Institute claims that today's modern woman doesn't have time for sex. With the job, the kids, and the shopping, you're just too busy to get the zing. But now, thanks to this amazing new offer, you can feel like you just got some anytime. Big O Publishing announces Sex on Tape. Now you can hear the same things you hear during real sex anytime. Chapter 1, Playful Flirting.
Hey, you can vacuum later. Come here.
Chapter 2, Setting the Mood.
So, you want to do it?
Chapter 3, Foreplay.
Hurry up, halftime's almost over.
And Chapter 4, Afterglow. Sex on Tape. It's just like sex without the orgasm. Just like being with a real man. Pick up Sex on Tape today from Big O Publishing.
That is nonsense. Utter nonsense.
12:15. Calm down, Mo. Just to calm. I guess you got a little worked up too about the orange alert. I guess he thought it had something to do with his hairpiece. Wouldn't that be something if Monday he came? That a great.
Based on the color that it is.
Exactly. Orange. I can see it now. Maybe he's out getting at the citrus dye maker, having it done right now. 12:30, don't forget, we got not only Tom Ridge and John Ashcroft, but Robert Mueller, the director of the FBI.
Of activation of National Guard and Reserve units by the Pentagon in recent weeks.
You know, she has a lisp. I never noticed that before.
Who?
Whoever she is that does the CNN Pentagon reporting. Anyway, here's the thing somebody faxed me in 1999 from the Crime Watch Consumer Fraud Watch Network. Infomercial guru William McCorkle and his wife were each sentenced in Orlando to 24 years, 4 months for swindling real estate customers. This is 4 years ago. McCorkle appeared stoic and wife Chantel cried silently in response to U.S. District Judge Patricia Fawcett's sentence for scamming thousands of people out of $28 million. Two of McCorkle's associates were sentenced earlier in the day to 5 years each for fraud conspiracy. How do you like that? Makes you wonder how a lot of these other fakers get away with it on there.
They're just slicker.
Is that it? Better con men? Here's Pompano. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Did anybody mention the Flowbee?
Yeah.
Oh, because I need one. I need a haircut.
Well, get two. We get a discount. Well, Greg Reed can use one, too. 5670560. You notice his hair is like falling out in chunks? Clumps.
Yeah.
I just mentioned that in passing. It just seems strange. Maybe it's just he's reached that time of his life, or who knows what it is. 5670560, pound 560. Of course, there are a lot of the people who, are owed money by this company. Their hair is probably falling out, too, and they can't afford to replace it. They'd like to get paid someday. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. I have a feeling now, we didn't tell you to go under the bed until at least 12:30, okay? Because we're still on yellow alert as of now. But we know that in 13 minutes and 15 seconds, at that point, we'll be placed on orange alert. So you got 13, maybe that's what they're doing. They got 13 minutes left to have a good time between now and 12:30, so they might be working on it. Here's Weston. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing today?
Okay.
Could you just knew what was going on? In fact, even Larry King asked him, do you miss what was going on? I said, I guess since he's just a regular person now, I bet he wonders, man, if I was in charge, I'd do things so much different,
Maybe we can bring him back.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay,
anyway, take care.
Yeah, let's play the Jacksons. I Want You Back. Huh? In honor of Bubba. Well, now, see, there goes with that Clinton stuff again, making this political. Now, I have a feeling, I could be wrong. If the Constitution didn't prohibit him from running for a third term, I think if we had an election tomorrow between George W. Bush and Bill Clinton, Clinton would win hands down your pants.
Hands down.
You look at the economy, you look at the state of the world as we are in it right at the moment. We got the terror level going up through the roof. We got all this saber rattling. We got North Korea saying, hey, if you start with any more of this hanky-panky over here and fishing around, you're going to open up a nuclear holocaust. We've got a very unstable, when you start, rattling the spear and calling everybody evildoers and all this other stuff, and not doing the things behind the scenes you need to keep a little bit of a sanity in the world, it makes for a very nervous place in which to live. You see what I'm saying?
What are you saying? Let's go home?
Yeah. We're leaving. But first, a call from Miami Beach. Hello.
Neil, you forgot K-Tel presents Patsy Cline Sings the Blues.
Oh, K-Tel. If it's K-Tel, it must smell, right.
You forgot, they were the beginning of the infomercials back in the 70s.
Yeah, but there's so many of them, though. I guess we can just put K-Tel music or whatever.
They also had the record cleaner that you stood right up and it got rid of the static. Oh, it was Ronco got rid of the
record
static?
vac.
Oh, the record vac. Oh,
Ragtime and rock and roll. It's a natural pairing. And now you can hear it for the first time ever as K-Tel presents Joplin Does Joplin. The brilliant music of Scott Joplin as interpreted by 60s superstar Janis Joplin. Available now on Joplin Does Joplin. Recorded live in Joplin, Missouri. Hear favorites like the pineapple rag, the maple leaf rag, and the I think I'm gonna hurl in my sleep rag and more. Joplin Does Joplin, part of the Dead Masters collection from K-Tel.
You asshole! 20 past noon at 560 WQ. I just had to hear that once today, from Mo. Well, I'm sure he'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure his dog, one way or the other, will be resolved. He'll be back tomorrow. Geldy, nice job this morning. On Monday, like I said. Well, I'm starting to move ahead of myself now because I don't think we have time for the weekends anymore.
No.
Because time could be running out. Based on some of the things that we're hearing right now. And I have a feeling what they're going to tell us is they have no specificity. They have nothing specific, not that they never have. So you'd have to wonder why they're bringing in all of these other things, about biological and chemical attacks and all of these other things.
Just cause.
Just to raise that level of consciousness? Just to make us a little bit more, keep us on our toes, our level. I mean, in other words, if they're going to drop nuclear weapons and we do hide under the desk like they taught us back during the Cold War, I don't think that'll probably do too much good, All you kids out there, when you see the mushroom cloud, hide under your desk. Get your books and crawl under the desk, and we'll let you know when it's safe to come out.
Now, it was too late for that, but did they actually show those things in school? Because they showed them after the fact, like on cable.
Yeah.
All those movies.
Oh, yeah.
Duck and cover and
Absolutely.
Your ass.
Sure. Climb out of the desk.
And did you actually do the drills?
No.
Oh, all right.
No, we did fire drills, though.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody did fire drills. And one time we had a gas main break in Brighton, in Rochester. I was in elementary school. And my mother came driving over to the school frantically, hysterical, as we all kind of marched outside, dragging me out of the line, schlepping me to my aunt and uncle's house.
See how she loves you.
In fact, the gas main, the thing, there was the house right behind us, the whole back of the house blew off in one piece. Yeah. The whole back of the house just blew right off. So you could see it was like a, when you put the food down, you fat tub of crap. Look at that, he waddles in here and he picks up something with food. What is in that box, by the way?
Chicken strips.
Oh,
you don't want
phooey. I thought it was cookies or something. Get out of here. Look at that. He can't even get through the door, this tub. Look how red in the face he is. Take a deep breath, okay? It could be your last. Man, fat boy. I'm telling you, he is really, in fact, that'd be a contest. Which one explodes first, him or the humper? We're hoping it's him because we want to keep the humper around. Fat boy, hopeless. Humper not sounding too good there. And I'm telling you, I'm picking on him because I want him to lose that weight. We want to save his ass. And the rest of them, too. But what I heard yesterday, am I the only one that heard that? I'm not making it up. He started talking like that. And I thought, uh-oh. What a wicked price we pay when we get fat. You gotta pay the piper, man. Sooner or later, you gotta pay the lemon piper. Lemon sounds good as in like lemon cookies. Or lemon chiffon, lemon meringue pie. You like lemon meringue pie?
Yeah.
Haven't had that in a long time.
Or key lime pie? Or
nah, key lime pie's okay, but, there are two kinds of pie that are like sickeningly sweet. Key lime pie, and what's the other one? The real sweet, southern pecan pie.
Oh, yeah.
I do like it, but you can have like one little bite. What are the little tiny forks that they have? Those little teeny tiny ones, You know what I'm talking about?
Like the shrimp forks or something.
Like a shrimp fork. You gotta have one of those and eat like a little piece of pecan pie, and that's it, because if you eat more than that, definitely diabetic coma.
You get some real homemade kind that's just got a little bit of glaze on it and a lot of pecans. That's a real pie, so it's not way too sweet. But the store-bought is like a syrup with a few pecans in it.
With some whipped cream on it?
Yeah. Or ice cream.
But I do like a lemon meringue pie. And I still say Denny's, for all the fun that people make at Denny's, and certainly deservedly so, the Mother Humper pies, they're pretty damn good. You ever had the German chocolate? Never had those?
Yeah.
Mother Humper pies?
Matter of fact, sometimes we'll just go and get the pie at Denny's without actually eating there.
George is redeeming himself rapidly now. His family does not eat at Denny's. Now you're making a good comeback.
Anyone else I know.
Well, come on. There are people that eat at Lenny's. I'm not sure I know anybody. Yeah, Carlos can't afford to eat at Denny's. Are you crazy? Although he does like the dumpster out back. He says you ought to see all the good crap they throw. Yeah. He says, I love those crusts. Even the ones in the underwear. Well, anyway.
And shirt tails.
Can I do the spot? I'm doing a food spot, and you're talking about underwear and shirt tails in your
rectum.
Things like that. Uh-oh. Fire at Rhode Island jewelry plant injures 14.
Cyanic acid, which is what they use in the death chambers. We don't think that's happened. The air quality, I've just been told by the chief, is better than what we expected. The hazard material team is still on site, but the situation, the fire...
Snowing like crazy there, you see that?
Out, and so things are moving to not conclude.
Patients possibly exposed to potassium cyanide.
Evacuate the neighborhoods for a while, and people are at our senior center now. But over the next couple hours, I think we'll be bringing some of them back, although we don't want anybody in the immediate area still.
All right, and so how many people did you say are injured, and how seriously injured are they?
16 people were in the...
Technic Inc. in Rhode Island is the name of the company.
Hospital. We think one is seriously injured.
And so, but nobody, thank God, is more seriously injured than that.
Yeah.
And there's no death.
758-5351 for delivery. That's 305-758-5351. They'll deliver from 34th and Biscayne all the way to 135th and Biscayne. They'll go to Quayside, Cricket Club, the Jockey Club. Flores even delivers as far west as 12th Avenue, east of Collins and 71st. Give them a call. And if you're nice to little Judy, she'll tell you about the great pizza specials at Flores, like $13.99 for a large cheese pie, a liter of soda, and 6 delicious chicken wings. All of these things, only $13.95. Call Flores now, 305-758-5351, and be sure and tell them their close personal paisan, Old Neil, told you to call. Gives him like a dirty look, he's going to give him what for, and then hop off. Okay, so what we're going to do is, now why aren't they there at the podium? Didn't they say 12:30?
That's what they said.
I mean, if we're going to have an end of the world, let's do it on time.
Technically, they still have 30 seconds.
They do? You mean to say that our clock in here could be a little on the fast side? I can't even imagine that.
He's
saying very important stuff, but this is more important. Fax just came in. I went to Denny's with my girlfriend about a year ago. I was told by the waitress they just got rid of the Mother Butler pies and replaced them with pies by companies like Hershey, which, by the way, were awful compared to the Mother Butler's pies. Bad move, Denny's. Important stuff, wouldn't you think? In fact, that's enough to get anybody really nervous.
I'm crushed.
Yeah. So I can tell Carlos when he comes back in, no more eating out of the dumpster at Denny's.
State law enforcement going ahead and explaining to their constituents what this means. This is going to be a difficult period for them, won't it?
Very difficult. I just spoke with the director of the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, and their lieutenant governor at 1:30 at the State House in Boston will also be giving a press conference, and you will see this going on around the country, Wolf, and it will mean different things to different states, depending on the different states, what kind of vulnerabilities they have, what kind of facilities that are located in each of the states. So I think it will have a different effect on different governors, and that'll trickle down to the cities and the mayors of the different cities, and so it will have a profound effect, most likely.
For Michael Bloomberg and George Pataki, respectively the mayor and governor of New York City and New York State, given the fact that area has been hit on 9/11, indeed earlier as well. Presumably it has a greater impact.
You know what I'm thinking while he's chewing his lips, because they still aren't out there in the podium? Why don't we do the break, okay? Because we don't want to miss one word. Nope. Everybody's hanging on the edge of their seats.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
And making this dramatic announcement.
Because once it goes to orange, that thing could trip up to that red one,
so citizens
of each up. Yeah, you've seen that happen with traffic lights, haven't you?
Right. Level that's been in place for so long, a yellow level, which is called elevated, to the orange level, which is a higher state of security, meaning that law enforcement, some 20,000 law enforcement authorities, local, state, federal, around the United States, have to deal with a much more serious potential threat out there. The reason being, and we'll get some specific explanations from how credible this information is, but they're walking in right now, the Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security.
There's Tom Ridge and Robert Mueller, a 3-pack. You ready? You got yourself strapped in? Here we go. Like I said.
Currently classified at elevated risk
to increase that threat condition designation to the high-risk category. This decision for an increased threat condition designation is based on specific intelligence received and analyzed by the full intelligence community. This information has been corroborated by multiple intelligence sources. Since September the 11th, the U.S. intelligence community has indicated that the al-Qaeda terrorist network is still determined to attack innocent Americans, both here and abroad. Recent reporting indicates an increased likelihood that al-Qaeda may attempt to attack Americans in the United States and or abroad in or around the end of the Hajj, a Muslim religious period ending mid-February 2003. Recent intelligence reports suggest that al-Qaeda leaders have emphasized planning for attacks on apartment buildings, hotels, and other soft or lightly secured targets in the United States. The recent bombings of a nightclub in Bali, Indonesia, and of a resort hotel in Mombasa, Kenya, demonstrate the continued willingness of al-Qaeda to strike at peaceful, innocent civilians and their ability to carry out attacks on such soft or lightly guarded targets. There are also indications bolstered by the recent arrests in London where chemical ricin was discovered. These indications demonstrate al-Qaeda's interest in carrying out that heightened awareness and readiness on our part deters terrorism. Since September the 11th of 2001, the United States has substantially improved its capacity to disrupt, deter, and prevent terrorist attacks against innocent Americans. The active cooperation of the American people, your cooperation, has been instrumental in preventing major terrorist attacks. Since September the 11th, 2001, the Federal Bureau of Investigation has evaluated and investigated over 3,000 terrorist threats within the United States, issued 103 warnings to state and local law enforcement, and announced three, not including today's announcement, three major nationwide terrorist alerts. The threat condition designation was last raised to high risk on September the 10th, 2002, and reduced to an elevated risk standing 2 weeks later. Today's change in the threat condition designation from elevated risk to high risk will trigger a series of security precautions by the federal government as well as state and local governments and U.S. citizens to increase readiness to prevent terrorism. I have directed bans. As we have in the past, we ask that Americans continue their daily work and leisure activities with a heightened awareness of their environment and the activities occurring around them. As President Bush recounted in the State of the Union address, we have arrested or dealt with many al-Qaeda key commanders. 3,000 suspected terrorists have been arrested worldwide. Other terrorists have met a different fate. We've uncovered and stopped terrorist conspiracies in the United States, in Yemen, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, the Straits of Hormuz, and Gibraltar. We've broken al-Qaeda cells around the world. And with the support of the American people, we will prevail in this war on terror. It's my pleasure now to introduce the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Secretary Tom Ridge.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This heightened threat level has been or is being communicated to local and state law enforcement officials, federal agencies, members of Congress, governors, state homeland security advisors, mayors, and those who share responsibility for the nation's private infrastructure. Information is also being provided to the nation's first responders, our fire, emergency,
George, did you make
health,
that noise in the
and
middle
public
of
safety personnel.
Did you make that?
No.
You
The
asshole.
nation's Homeland Security Advisory System provides a national framework to inform and to facilitate actions appropriate to different levels of government and to private citizens, either in their workplaces or in their homes. The system couples the threat level with protective measures that should or will be taken to reduce our country's vulnerabilities. As a result of the increase in the threat level, as a result of going from yellow to orange, elevated to high, specific protective measures will be taken by all federal agencies, both to reduce vulnerabilities, and many of them actually will, we believe, serve as a deterrent in advance of any kind of emergency, whether it's a natural disaster or a terrorist attack. Doesn't take a great deal of time, and I think it would make family members a lot more comfortable if they knew they were able to get in touch with one another in the event something happened. I think there are ways that parents and adults can certainly be better informed because, as we've described to you, terrorist attacks really can potentially take many forms. Families can be armed in advance with a kind of information that you might need and that will be critical to your health and your well-being. And I would encourage Americans to log on to the department's website. You can log on to www.dhs.gov to learn more information, to become better informed about steps that individuals can take simply to be better prepared. The call that we give today, which Americans have certainly heard before, is based on our knowledge and our conviction that heightened awareness and readiness deters terrorism. Each of us, in our own ways, can contribute to the security of our nation, our families, and our communities. Today,
I believe that an alert public is our strongest asset. If you observe suspicious activity, I encourage you to contact your local FBI office or your local police and to report such activity. Thank you, and let me turn it over to you, General.
Thank you, and God bless America. Okay, now this story is a little unsettled. The boat was still flying a Cuban flag. Defect. My impression is that it was a last-minute decision. Koenig said they were patrolling, talking about living at the poverty line. They said, you know what, the United States is only 90 miles. The United States is only 90 miles. Boat terminated communication with Cuba and headed straight here.
Hey, free boat.
Yeah. Edwards said the men were taken to Monroe County Jail, where they'll be turned over to U.S. Immigration and Naturalization Service. An INS spokesman didn't immediately return a call today. Cubans who make it to the U.S., it's that wet foot, dry foot, wet back, however that thing goes.
Right.
What is it, wet back? Well, Carlos is
Dry
saying,
foot.
yeah, he's the wet back. So there you go. So we got undetected, came up on shore, parked their boat, walked up with their loaded weapons.
Boy, our Coast Guard sure is doing it, right?
We're on top of it, baby. Oh! Have no fear, because the U.S. government is here.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
No, I would not be a sport home if I was not a closeted fay. That's why a ginger and mocha union would make me feel giddy and gay.
Everybody follow my bouncing balls.
Yeah, ginger and mocha union would make my sore old bony ass feel safe. If we had a ginger and mocha union, then he wouldn't have to get me raped.
Okay, we've had a discussion here, programming discussion. We've decided on Monday that we did have a good idea yesterday. Starting Monday, Mo and Geldy will be on in the morning, but it won't be our Mo and Geldy. It'll be Boca Brian doing them both.
Right.
Which I think, something to think about. Anyway, the poll, favorite TV infomercial. I hate all infomercials, 210. Girls Gone Wild videos, 112. Ron Popeil, Showtime Rotisserie Barbecue, 29. Ron Popeil, Pocket Fisherman, 16. Now, are we going to be here on Monday? I mean, what I really mean is the world going to be here on Monday?
Bye. The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.